Joshua, and I'm the winner for the PUBG Mobile.
Joshua, I won the tournament for Street Fighter 6. Shalom,
From Winifred.
It's Mustafa Sani. I'm the winner for the Forza Horizon 3 Championship. I won the fire competition today. It was hosted by 10 and 80 and Monster.
We need more of this. We need 10 more, 20 more. I did this every day.
I want to say a very big thank you to 10 and 80 and Monster for hosting this competition. This has shown me that e-sport can go far in Nigeria. When I saw the opportunity to compete in this game, I knew that yes, this is it. I can definitely win it, and I came out victorious today.
Huge thank you to 10 and 80 and Monster for the wonderful tournament hosted.
I want to thank the sponsors, 10 and 80 and Monster Energy, for making such a wonderful event.
The match is about to start.
From PS12, now Nigerian now the Warmison, Demo, against Hyper, he needs to clear that hill, the boys in yellow, Hyper finds him, shuts him down, and 340, 10 more seconds through that door, the oil money's in, are they going to make history? Very first land, very first win, 347, 348, now the contest, the boys in lead, no way through, and they are going to hold it down. So S are your champions.
Welcome to the Pioneer edition of the 1080 Campus Game Fest 2025, and we are live at the University of Ibadan. Game on.
Showtime, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Nigerian Pro League Season 8. It's the rain split, it is the playoffs, and we did have some technical difficulties. That is why we're starting late. Funny enough, this is the second time I'm actually doing this, but the first time didn't come to the live stream because, like I said, technical difficulties. So all of that was getting sorted. But it is the Group C. We had Group A 2 days ago, and then we had Group B yesterday, and now we have Group C. Group C consists of those teams that did not qualify from either Group A or B. So it's going to be a hustle, a major hustle to get into the NPL league stages, where you can now start to rack up points to bring you to that grand final all the way here in Lagos, Nigeria, where you will play for that whooping prize pool of 2 million naira. But, before we even get there, the plane is going to take off any moment from now. But before we hop onto that, the point system is on your screens. 10 points for that chicken dinner. And in second place, you're going to get 6 points. In third, you will get 5. 4, you will get 4. And in fifth, you will get 3. In sixth, you will get 2. In seventh to eighth, you will get 1. And 9th to 16th, 1 as well. Yeah, it should be 0 actually, so that will be sorted by the design team actually. But outside of that, let's take a look at the teams that will be participating in Group C. RFT Esports, we've got Roto Creed, Ninja, Reckless, Skills, and Professor No More, with no more betting, no more aura, no more pain, no more dabby, no more drama, and no more mercy. 4 portions will also have Roman, Peachy, Ace, El Chapo, Skinny, and Regioso in the mix. Neon Rising also in the cut. The current IESF Nigerian national champions, they will be representing us coming at the end of the month in the IESF African regionals. That guy, Berserker, Beekeeper, Wizard, Baby, and Final Boss. And then let's not forget, we've got Crypto Esports, Ragnar, Crazy Weirdos, and Afro Esports also in the mix. You already know what time it is. Athlete Game, Unsullied Army, Dark Knight, and Umoja Gaming. Spike T, Prothletes, Rio Esports, and Monster also in here as well. But let's not forget, New Gen, the team that did put up an amazing performance yesterday, if you ask me, Harsh Esports and DS1. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the NPL is here, the rain split is here, and it is Group C, and they are getting very, very angsty, very excited. Good playing path, not as good as the one we saw. In the previous match that didn't happen because of technical difficulties. This one is much better, but it still feeds into the narrative of who is going to come out on top. 19 teams here, and out of those 19 teams, 10 will be packing their bags and heading back home tomorrow night. But tonight is for them to build something to carry them into the league. So you cannot afford to make any mistakes. Every single decision that you make here will tie into what you will do when it comes time for those final third games in tomorrow's matches. So every single key important factor is going to pop out here. But I would be very impressed though to see how it pans out for some of these teams, because it's going to be very, 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 it's going to be very long nights for some of these teams. Too long to think about it, too far, too cold out. But I want to see who's going to come out on top. I want to see the dynamic that these teams would have. We do have a very, very interesting zone, something towards maybe southwestern, leading towards the northeastern side. But those teams that do love to play from the northern side, and I'm talking about the likes of a DS1, this could be a very, very good zone for them. And but Balogun, shout out to you. Said appreciate the love, you guys. So those of you that do love to hate, please say no to hate, guys. Don't hate. Let this be a love watch. But if you want to drop something in the super chat, I'm there as well. So yeah, I'm also rooting, and so show some love in the super chat. I want to see those colors flying up. Please, nobody should bring Bego to this chat. Bego and all those 10, 11 guys. Oh, also, don't forget the action is already kicking off. Umoja Gaming in trouble here. Peachy has already decided to rain bullets and rain hell onto them. Now he feints left, right, and over to the other side, but he might be getting overwhelmed. Tries the left hand side, but he's gonna be dropped immediately. And surely he will be getting flushed because, yeah, you already know, Umoja Gaming, they will not take any chances, and four portions will lose two. Skinny and Peachy in one fell swoop. Umoja Gaming have catapulted to the top of the leaderboard, and they will do so without any casualties. I mean, is this where we're at? Is this what it's like now? Umoja Gaming getting caught catching out four portions. And I know a lot of people had four portions in their tickets. And a lot of you had four portions in your tickets, in it. And take a look at what's happening to you now. But it looks like Athlete Game are getting very, very angsty here against, I believe, the Monsters. Will be trading off. HR gets knocked away. It is still a 3 versus 3, though. I think this might work out in their favor if they can surround this entire position. Nightwalker was able to get one and drop them off. And I see Mitch is in the chat. Big shout out to Big Mitch. She's in the chat. Show some love to Mitch. She's in the chat as well. She's my mentor. What's your, Esta Rosa from Monsters is also on the other side. Again, this is a good position to breach, for Monsters. I think they can do something with this. All they have to do is, block the sidelines for Athlete Game, keep them boxed in, keep them in a very, very closed out position. Estarosa is the thorn in the side of this team. He can do something from that position. I don't think he has been spotted yet. No panic. Nightwalker and Fender all boxed in here. They need to wrap this up. Hunter has committed already. I think he has given away his position as well. So Estarosa and Olamide could, creep up on their position and turn this around. But right now, Estarosa is the only one with an angle. If he can get a knock from this distance, from this position, I think he might be able to open something. I think he might be able to do something here. Although they are already on the receiving end. 68 players in the cut right now. Can't afford any mistakes at this stage. It is way too early to afford any kind of mistakes. But let's get those predictions in the chat, guys. Let's get those predictions in the chat. I want to see those predictions. Who do you think is taking the first chicken dinner? Money's on Neon Rising, though. I think they do have a very good position in the zone. They have everything working out for them. They've got some vehicles. They're out of Rozok, a little bit more central. This feeds into the narrative of why they are one of the better teams inside of the lobby. One eye's on the prize still for Neon Rising. They have it came quite close to qualifying from Group A, but unfortunately, that would not be the case. Machete from DS1 also in the running, one of the stronger MVPs for DS1. They have a lot of angles to play around here, playing out of shooting range. This is actually a very underrated position. 35 haters says, love abomination. Please, guys, show love, show love. Say, don't hate, don't hate, don't hate. This is a love watch. Crowns is in the cut. Crowns is active. Big Crowns is in the chat, guys. Yeah, you already know he's plastered, and I'm plastered as well. So, like I said, shooting range is a very underrated landing position. I think he has access to vehicles. He has access to it's access to the north. It's on the northern side. It's not really, it's very I wouldn't say it's easy to defend, but it's not too difficult to defend. It's not too difficult to defend shooting range. I think if you buckle down, if you double down, I think everything could work out for you if you do it right in that position. But you guys should tell me in the chat as well, what areas of this map do you think are very underrated? What do you think? What areas do you think people don't like that much? I think shelter is very underrated. Like shooting range, very underrated. I think prison is also very underrated. But I think the underrated places are not that many though. You know, every other place, yeah. Um, Outside of those two, what other places can I say are underrated? I'm curious though. You guys should tell me in chat like what other areas. I think Gatka is also very underrated though, personally. Someone said Ipswich they cook Arsenal. No, please, please. Okay, well, take a look at the pro athletes. The pro athletes are the pro athletes from Athlete Game. Well, I wouldn't say from Athlete Game. Personally, I think they are better than Athlete Game when it comes to transition. I think they're a slightly better team when it comes to transition, but you know, things are more sidelined than one would think, you know what I mean? But regardless, I don't know why you guys are referring to Group C as the Conference League. Is it because it starts from C? But it looks like Crypto are getting their hands dirty right now, and it looks like it might be against the guys from Hershey Sports. This is not what they were expecting, but Bitcoin was running in the open, and he gets punished immediately. But 911, someone called the police and call the ambulance here, but not for me, as Rude Boy will go for the pickup. But Crypto looking very good here defensively as well. Hashi Sports trying to fight this one off on all fronts here. They're looking very distraught. Utilities and everything flying off the hinges there. Smoke's already singeing the corners and closing out the sight lines. Very good from Crypto Esports, holding a very solid defensive position. Rage runs into the fire. You would think he's Daniel from the Bible. Wait, was it Daniel or Shadrach, Meshach, and a bad nigger? Those guys. Mitch asked, are the ballers playing? Nah, the ballers qualified yesterday actually, so they are not in this lobby. They already qualified to the league stages. And take a look at that. Pro athletes are getting active again. And now they have sent shots over the guys from Arab T, and I think they have been able to secure an elimination from there. So, man, tickets are not looking nice right now. You have Umoja Gaming on top, Athlete Game in second, Crypto in third, Pro Athletes in fourth. What? I'm pretty sure this is not how everyone saw their games going, but take a look at Ronu here, waiting, lying in wait. That is what you call lying in wait. And Archie scores, and he might be taking 2 for 2 there. Solana trades off, gets a couple shots away, but he does take damage. Molotov deep into the building to force them all the way back. This could be very dangerous. He could be getting overwhelmed here. His teammates are in no position to provide any assistance for him. And on the other side, Afro Esports have set their sights on, it looks like Neon Rising, and decided to take hits. And he's trying to cut them all the way down. Hashi Sports fighting for their lives here. Monkeys kept at bay by Rage. Kev has been knocked away. And it looks like things could go from bad to worse here for Hashi Sports. Another one will bite the dust. Ronu falls out. Monkey, the last one left. And she might have to survive without the rest of the team. Hashi Sports getting absolutely battered by Crypto Esports. And you would not believe your eyes, but that is exactly what is happening right now. And that is what shows the narrative here. That guy pops a grenade just outside. It's not enough. Have to think twice about it, though. It's like a grenade might be getting tossed away, too. But we'll try. Molotov. All the way through again. Neon Rising on the receiving end of all the chaos here. The grenades continuously get charged. Ooh, and that guy had to be very careful there. That Molotov might as well have sent him on his way. But the grenade from SWAT will do the job perfectly as well. Berserker continues to launch through. Neon Rising struggling. All down to just Berserker, the last one left for Neon Rising. Things are not as it seems. And Afro Esports say They know that he's here. Can Berserker pull out something special? Grenade tossed through the window. Too short, doesn't get the job done. We'll try again. Bounces that first one off. Try to bounce the second. Now for esports, they're trying to wrap this up and close this out. And he will be shut out immediately as well. And Neon Rising will join Spike T back into the lobby. Well, that is not what they thought. That is not what they thought was going to happen there. But Neon Rising, once again, getting outclassed early in the game. And Afro Esports is starting very, very comfortable here. But take a look at that. Arab T will send shots, and that will be the end of Harsh Esports, actually. Harsh Esports will go out in 17th. Again, they are struggling. Harsh Esports are really struggling. We saw them struggle in Group B yesterday. They were very close to qualifying into the league stages, but they had the rug pulled out from under their feet. Remember, 10 teams will be evacuated from here. They'll be sent back into the back home. They'll be sent packing. They're not going to like this one. They will keep things honest. Looks like Estarossa was actually able to get something out of it for Monsters. Able to turn things around, but again, it's very, very hard. You know, especially from that position that they are playing out of. Rio Esports, also one of the teams to keep an eye out for. Did have a very good Hamatan split. But now the range split is asking for just a little bit more. And they will have to deliver unequivocally. Real Esports, they are trying their best to stay locked in here, but all the resources being tossed away again. This vehicle skin is hilarious, bro. It is just too hilarious. What is this supposed to be, bro? Like, I don't even know what to call this, man, bro. But one would be surprised as Crypto Esports starting the day very nicely. 3 eliminations to the good. Solana is on the rise. So buy into the dip right now. Buy into Solana. They are on the rise. But can they keep the momentum, though? That is what is required of you. 16 teams here. Phase 2 of the circle going to phase 3. But taking a look at that zone, that shows you what exactly is the plan for most of these teams. No more sitting a very nice spot just on that hillside of Pochinki. They are, in my opinion, in the best position possible. But now they will be having to, you know, be forced into that northern position. What a shift that is. Prothletes looking very, very, very solid on Everest. DS1 as well. I talked about them earlier in the game. That position they held from the northern side, from shooting range, it is starting to pay off. But Athlete Games still squeezed in, still forced in here. And this is exactly one of the things, you know, that happens to you when you don't have a plan, when you don't have an objective, you know, the likes of Athlete Game right now. But it's going to cost them a lot. It's really going to cost them a lot there because they don't have utilities and the play zone is already hot on their heels. They're going to be forced out, you know, into zone 4 without enough utilities to, you know, take engagement or even tank the blue zone as much as they would like. But we'll see. Unsullied Army doing the Unsullied Army You already know they are going to be very active. I mean, they do love to play around ruins. This position is very, very useful for them. Afro Esports will continue their onslaught now. They will be setting their sights onto the guys from Arab T, but I don't see this as a very viable push coming through from Neo. I don't think he's going to get anything out of this. Arab T can defend that position, and it will cost them less utilities to defend it. It's going to be a hard breach for Afro Esports. It's not worth the risk. They're probably going to lose someone here, but looks like No Panic will actually lend the shots to us. Esterosa, and he's going to be getting knocked away. They will think about this one now, as Esterosa has been sent back into the lobby. Monsters down to just 2 now. Arab T looking good. 4 portions on the other side of them, towards that eastern side. And they will think twice about their next move, about their next plans. Every other thing is going to be secondary for them. But they are proactive. But, ooh, well, that was something. Looks like SWAT took a couple to the chest there, courtesy of possibly Unsullied Army. And he has to be very careful there. Oh, well, Squash saw the opportunity and he took it. And that was the only way. That was the only way Afro Esports were going to cause any sort of trouble for Arab T. And now they will have to be very careful going forward. But they can still defend. They can still hang on. But Skills will know better now not to make such mistakes in the future. Chapov, grenade in hand. It looks like Afro Esports want to take this or immediately get stunned. And Ace will have to charge one to the game. That's a good grenade, but it doesn't connect. He turns around, tries to run away from the opposition, tries to peek into the corner. He does get the first knock, but the Molotov cocktail will send him all the way back. Will give him a lot of opportunity for the breach through, and it gets 2 knocks. Ace is going for it. Might go for the third. It's 2 versus 1, but Ace is 1 HP. And the DBS will shut it down and kill any ideas that 4 portions had there. But that was something special if he was able to make it happen. But, ooh. It did not turn out to be the case. Afro Esports turning up the heat, turning up the rhythm. And now they will get themselves those 6 eliminations courtesy of 4 portions. Dark Knights looking for a way through. No vehicle in sight. Rio Esports starting to donate the bodies again. And they will get out of dodge just in time, allowing the reset to come through. But Rolex has played by General. And Crypto Boys circling backwards, playing in from that western position. I don't know how fruitful it can be for HKK, but looks like it's going to be very, very fruitful. Hatake also gets knocked away by Hunter, and Monsters are actually racking up some insidious points for themselves as well. The rotations, though, too tricky, too big for them to make those moves off, but it is still very, very consequential. We still have a lot of teams here, a lot of bodies in the cut. 48 players alive. Phase 4 of the circle. 50 seconds on the clock. You cannot be in the blue zone in the next circle, and everybody's making their rotations right now. Right now, Dark Knights setting their sights. It looks like No Panic actually gets a knock through. Damn, this one's gonna take a hit. He actually gets the drop on him, but he's low HP. He might be getting swept over to the other side. But no Panic actually almost put a big dent in Dark Knights. And that was very close. Athlete Game almost snatching Dark Knight's chain there. That was very, very close. Enough to put him into the other side. But Dark Knights will survive 7 eliminations. A little bit of utilities to work out of it, but Crypto have been demolished down to just 2 players. It's Rude Boy and Rage trying to find some way into the zone to call home. Fender just up front for Athlete Game, the last man left. They do have 3 points to the good. Remember, top 9 teams will advance to the league stages to join the likes of Ecstasy, Recrown Esports, and 14th Gaming. The big dogs. Right now, Crypto Esports are looking for a way into the zone. They are getting absolutely chased. Machete will get a drop there. Crazy Weirdos on the receiving end there. Butterfly is going to have to hightail it and get into dodge, but he will be stopped dead in his tracks there by Luxy. And DS1 are up to 3 eliminations, and they are looking very good. But looks like the Pro Thieves have decided to crash the party as well. Hunter now throwing in a 1v1, fades into the corner, turns through, and that's a big drop from Hunter. Monsters doing an amazing job. The clutch factor from Monsters right now looking very, very solid. Hunter is absolutely cooking, but Dark Knights have decided to crash the party, and so have the guys from New Gen. They want a piece of it as well. Trona has just decided to crash the party as well. Shotgun in hand from Hunter, trying to circle back, sways through. Grenade from General, about to tear this place up, but unfortunately, he turned his back to the opposition, and the Dark Knights will rise. Monsters go out with 4 eliminations, much better than some of the other teams we've seen so far. And now Dark Knights on the other side. The Hunter have become the hunted. New Gen now want a piece of the action. Cesar's inside. First spray's good, but he sprays inside. He turns through with the guys on, gets the first knock, and immediately exposed. Troda wants a piece of the action as well. Tries to circle inside. He's open spaced in. He's turned it around, and he does get him knocked away. Trona is absolutely cooking right now. New Gen are not going to back away from this. Dark Knights have 10 eliminations, but this might be where the party comes to an end for them. Trona is continuously mounting the pressure here, and they are going to be stepped out by Ragnar. It's a chaotic battle. All hands on deck right now. Ragnar won a piece of the action this time around. They smell the blood. Just KG immediately switches over to the DBS. Might decide to close this one, but he switches into his vehicle. Trona is playing this perfectly there. He's not trying to give away his position. He's not trying to get casted out, but there's too much at stake here. Fender still in the distance. He sees all this going on, but they have to wait for the right call. New Gen down to 1. Frontis pops a grenade. Doesn't spot anything going on there. Has to be careful. Trona might do something diabolical here. He's not moving. He's not giving away his position, but he will be spotted. Vehicle goes up in flames, and that will be the end for New Gen. They will go out in 10th place. Ragnar have started to wake up. 2 eliminations to the good, and they have found themselves in the top 9, but it's only the top 9 of the lobby. It is not the top 9 of the leaderboard. But Dark Knights have put up a considerable number, 10 eliminations. It's a big gamble, and it paid off. Crypto losing Rage, and I believe that could be the end of the road for them. It is. They go out in 8. Alucard got to the lobby a little bit too late there, and he's gonna be hurt. New players also gonna be hurt. Skillzinho showing his skills. 2-body score. He sent out the game all the way back into the lobby, and now they will have to rethink their options. They're Jack Gaming, the next move to Carlo Suit, and Arab T somehow have made it to the top 5, and they're still keeping it up. Skillzinho continues to mount the pressure, but he's down to only 40 rounds. He has to close this out. Just KG, but he turns back, exposing himself, and he's going to be knocked away there by Naruto. DS1 on fire, and they are putting in the work. 7 eliminations as well. Afro Esports, top of the hill. They are putting in so much chaos. Over to the other side. Ninja's exposed, and DS1 will turn it around. 8 eliminations, and potentially a chicken dinner is not too far away for DS1. Afro Esports now have turned their sights onto No More, and No More will try to turn the party around. A grenade for grenade. Squash for SWAT as well. No More Pain will feel the pain. He's going to be knocked away as well. Mercy plays off the right-hand side. He's trying to get an angle there. SWAT plays through. S12K straight through the window. Doesn't connect. Tries to piece it through. The Molotov cocktail right through the window, but the pressure's too on. He's burning all of his teammates. If they're not careful, they can get the numbers up. DS1, they can hear the chaos, and they might decide to get a piece of the action here, but there's too much going on. Afro Esports are caught between 2 different teams. in two different angles. DS1 trying to make their way through, but they are in the zone. The zone has squeezed them out. Now they will all be in the open. DS1 already making the play for the hillside, and that will be the end of no more going forward. Machete peeks up his head, and SWAT will cut it down. There's trouble in paradise now for DS1. Can they spread it around? Chris has been knocked away, but he will not be flushed. Chaos in the scene. Chaos is a ladder, but who will climb? This is the moment that DS1 have been waiting for all night. 51 to 49%. It is a 4v4. And now Naruto immediately sends forward ICM 416. And Luxie's there as well to lead the charge. Beautiful use of the smokes to hide the vision, but is it going to be enough for Afro Esports? The big move. Chris is behind, and Chris is enough to be a big thorn in the side of DS1. But take a look at what DS1 have done. They have squeezed the zone and forced Afro Esports back. They are not inside of the zone. It is going to be a hard rotation for Afro Esports to make right now, but they are using the smokes in the right fashion, prone into the ground, and somehow they have actually found their way through. But DS1 has a better position, and the first grenade, 2, 1 blow, 7 apples, another one will bite the dust, squash, the last one left for Afro Esports. He's trying to circle back, he's giving away his position, spins it through, and he does find an angle here, but will it be enough? He turns it all the way around and spins the block. 3 of his teammates all knocked away, but somehow he turned it into the corner, and he tries to spin through, but Machete pops behind the vehicle. Surely it's the end for SWAT. Grenade to follow through, but unfortunately there will be no reckoning. DS1 chicken dinner. Whoa, nobody saw it coming, but DS1 had all the numbers cooking. They had everything working in their favor, and that is exactly how the job should be done. Woo. Wow. 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 What a game from DS1. Everything perfectly done. Big game, big moves. Luxie with 2 eliminations. Relax with 2 as well. Machete with 3 and Naruto with 6. These guys came out with 13 eliminations and a chicken dinner. It doesn't get any better than that. Woo, what a game they have had. What a game they have had. Big game, big game, big game, big moves for DS1. And that is exactly how they make it happen. 62 eliminations, 64 knocks, 8, almost 9k in heals, bro. Crazy. 6 grenade eliminations, 30 assists. Keep an eye on that number. Keep an eye on that number. But no vehicle eliminations there. You already know it was a crazy game. It was a crazy turnout. And I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. But take a look at the damage. Take a look at the numbers. 2,300 to 1,500. I mean, Afro Esports were absolutely diabolical. 10 knocks apiece. 10 eliminations to 13. 28 minutes on the clock. 23 to 16. I mean, DS1 were not messing around. These guys were moving different. They were absolutely moving different. And I loved every minute of it. They knew exactly what to do. They turned things around. They held the position. They forced, Afro Esports all the way back into the receiving end, and it just didn't work out for them. But Naruto is your MVP for match number 1. And the eliminations to follow suit were 6 in total, almost doing 1,000 in damage just by himself. But 4 assists as well to follow through. 6 for him, 5 for SWAT, also doing almost 1,000 in damage. And HWK from Dark Knights, also another team that got double-digit eliminations. Trap as well with 4. eliminations, and Neo with 3 eliminations. But as it stands, DS1 walking out there with 23 points on the double. 16 for Afro Esports, Dark Knights with 10, No More with 9, Ragnar with 7, Arab T with 6, Umoja with 6, Crypto with 5, and Athlete Game with 4. Monsters with 4 as well, and New Gen Rio Esports, Harsh, and Pro Athletes with 1 apiece. On Solid Army, 4 portions, Neon Rising and Crazy Weirdos with Spike T. Not enough points yet, but you know, it's not over just yet. They could be able to do something about it, but absolute cinema. I loved every minute of that, but it's not over just yet. Miramar is up next, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Please run those numbers up. Appreciate the love, appreciate you guys active in the chat. 1 game down, 3 more to go. Stay tuned, and for match 2, a surprise is coming, so stay locked in.
Welcome to the Pioneer edition of the 10NET Campus Game Fest 2025, and we are live at the University of Ibadan. Game on.
Hi, this is Precious. So I'm at Game Fest, and this is my first time coming to Game Fest, and I've been loving it so far. My favorite game of today is Just Dance.
My name is Osaz. I won the FC25 tournament, but it was a very tough tournament, especially the first game. I went to penalties after extra time.
Is Kamala Ferwina. I participated in today's tournament in 10 and 80 and Monster tournament, and I was the winner for Free Fire.
My name is Israel. I won the F1 sim racing competition that was held here.
Hello, my name is Ola Ali, and I won Street Fighter 6.
I participated in the Just Dance game, and I've been moving my body. And yeah, Game Fest, I would like for you to come back to UI bigger and better.
Welcome to the mission.
Hi guys, it's me Tue, and I'm live here at the 10 and 80 Game Fest campus happening right here in Abuja. If you are seeing this, there's lots of games, music, networking, and so much fun happening. And the best part, it's all free.
I'm the winner for the PUBG Mobile.
Joshua, I won the tournament for Street Fighter 6. Shalom Olafemi.
Me from our winning friend.
It's Mustafa Sani. I'm the winner for the Forza Horizon 3 Championship. I won the fire competition today. It was hosted by 10 and 80 and Monster.
We need more of this. We need 10 more, 20 more. I did this every day.
I want to say a very big thank you to 10 and 80 and Monster for hosting this competition. This has shown me that e-sport can go far in Nigeria. When I saw the opportunity to compete in this game, I knew that yes, this is it. I can definitely win it, and I came out victorious today.
Huge thank you to 10 and 80 and Monster for the wonderful tournament hosted.
I want to thank the sponsors, 10 and 80 and Monster Energy, for making such a wonderful event.
The match is about to start.
From PS12, now Lomade is not able to use that. Now the War Machine, Demo against Hyper. He needs to clear that hill. The boys in yellow. Hyper finds him, shuts him down. And 340, 10 more seconds through that door. The oil money team, are they going to make history? Very first land, very first win. 347, 348. Now the contest. The boys in through, no way through. And they are going to hold it down. So S are your champions.
Welcome to the Pioneer edition of the 10NET Campus Game Fest 2025, and we are live at the University of Ibadan. Game on.
to Game Fest, and I've been loving it so far. My favorite game of today is Just Dance.
My name is Osaz. I won the FC 25 tournament. But it was a very tough tournament, especially the first game. I went to penalties after extra time.
Is Kamala Farina. I participated in today's tournament in 10 and 80 and Monster tournament, and I was the winner for Free Fire.
My name is Israel. I won the F1 sim racing competition that was held here.
Hello, my name is Olale, and I won Street Fighter 6.
I participated in the Just Dance game and I've been moving my body. And yeah, Game Fest, I would like for you to come back to UI bigger and better.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. It is the Nigerian Pro League Season 8. And of course, I told you guys I had a surprise waiting for you. And the surprise is none other than my man Crowns. You already know the vibes. He's the main guy.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Crowns
sir.
is here. Crowns, you saw game one. How did you feel about game one?
Game one. You see, all I'll just say from game one is I hope it was just the nerves. I saw a couple of things that I wasn't expecting to see, but nonetheless, it's game one as we've said, and I'm hoping game two is going to be better.
Okay. Well, I'm hoping game two is going to be better as well. But what teams are you looking out for? You know, we saw a little bit of something there. DS1, Afro Esports standing on business. I think Four Portions got a little bit carried away, but I think, you know, they are very strong in Miramar, so I think this could be their map. But what teams are you looking out for?
Yeah, definitely Afro Esports being one, especially seeing how they played that first game. I mean, 10 eliminations before going out. That is actually impressive numbers. I wouldn't even lie to you. DS1 actually did put up a good fight as well. I've seen a lot of people have told me to look at RT Esports, but I don't know how I feel about RT Esports. So, as usual, you know, if there's Unsolid Army in the lobby, my eyes would always be on them. So, I think that is the one team that I would say I'm really looking out for going into this second game of the day. I'm looking out for Solid Army, and I'm trying to see how they would play this game of Miramar.
Okay. Well, on Solid Army, you have the eyes. You have your eyes on you. You got those eyes on you. So let's see what you've got in store for us. But as it stands, interesting playing path. You know, all the way from Campo Militar, all the way down to the southwestern side of Valdemar. Minas de Vac, Chumacera, those areas. Now, when you see this playing path, Crowns, what comes to your mind? When you see a playing path like this, before the zone forms, you know, what comes to your mind? Do you think it's easier for teams that love to play, you know, just right down the middle, or do you think it doesn't favor those teams that love to play, you know, from the deeper edges of the the map?
I think when I say a zone like this, what comes to my head is, well, this is, I don't want to say, oh, sorry, zone, playing path like this. I don't want to say this is an easy playing path because it slices Miramar pretty much into half, which means you can basically get to almost any drop spot you want to get to. So I think going into this type of playing path, I would expect the teams to go for the play or for the drop location that would best favor them, or that would be more of the advantage. So if you're a team that is used to playing in from the west, land somewhere on the west, or take your drop location that's on the west. If you like to be on the east, do that. Be on the north, do that. And that way, no matter what the zone does, you're already comfortable rotating around or making your way out of wherever you're landing. Just make sure you're not with another team.
Okay, well, taking a look at the zone, we now see what it's looking like all the way down to the eastern side, feeding off, you know, Los Leones and those environs. I think I saw Impala in there, so I think those teams that do love to play towards the east, I think they're gonna like this one if they can get there in time. But right now, as we set our sights on what the game is looking like, we see the current standings, you know, DS1 with 23 all the way up in first place. Now, Crowns, top 9 is the goal. The top 9 teams will advance to the league stages. Do you think, you know, any team that is under the top 9 right now still has a chance, or Do you think the teams that are already in the top 9 are going to keep their spot?
Definitely, I think there is still a chance. I think it's still an open game right now. I mean, DS1 having 23 points really is a booster. But with respect to making it into the top 9, given that right now number 9 just has 4 points, which means if you get 4 eliminations, you're already in that top 9 already. It's just a case of how locked in you are. That's one thing that we'd always talk about. Like, bro, stay locked in and try to see how well you can play. Because I mean, starting off the day with 0 points, I'm looking at those teams from 15th downwards. I'm like, starting a game with zero, or starting the day with 0 points, it's definitely not even encouraging at all. So basically, you want to go all out next game.
Well, going all out. I mean, I would be impressed to see if that's going to be the case. If that is what these teams are actually going to do. Neon Rising on the other side, getting their hands very dirty here against the guys from, I believe, Athlete Game. First, a couple of shots sent through, 0 kill gets knocked away. But I don't think he's gonna like this one. Ace is coming through to apply some of that pressure to send them all the way back. But again, this is a very good defensive position being held by Athlete Game. But Baby is already making a play. This is this is what separates some teams from the others. You can see Neon Rising on the move, consistently moving around. Athlete Game have been forced into one position, making things even tougher for them to get out of. Neon Rising right now looking very solid. And I think with this position they've got, they should be able to take this game without having any casualties. Baby continues to, apply some pressure from that western side, keeping them all boxed in. Berserker just has to press forward a little bit closer. Ace plays behind. And again, it's looking very, very steep. You can see Neon Rising, they're making the advance, they're making the plays. But Athlete Game, very solid defensively. Fender is off to that right hand side.
Well, you were talking about spaces in the top 9 opening up. There is one space for sure that is open, and that is Umoja Gaming Spot. As you can see them getting out in the background. And correct me if I'm wrong, I believe we saw this hot drop, this Neon versus Athlete Gaming in Miramar. El Pozo, if I'm not mistaken, the places that we're currently at on the map. Is that El Pozo? No. But I believe, yeah, I think it is. Yeah. We've seen this before. I think we saw this in like the Hamatan split. So me seeing this again, I'm surprised. I'm like, why?
That's a that's a very valid question. But I think right now it's just a matter of coconut head type of energy. I think that's just what it is. It's a battle of who's going to come out on top. Athlete Game right now, I'm not sure what Fender's going to do because he's the farthest away and he's the biggest threat, but it's also in the biggest danger. He's been spotted now. Wizard has him in the sightlines and he might be able to send a couple shots through, but unfortunately he has been discovered, so that element of surprise is gone. Fender has to be very careful here. These bullets have to rain perfectly, and that's a big knock, major knock. I was not expecting Neon Rising to lose any players here. Berserker now has been forced out into the open. Wizard will be sent back into the lobby, and Athlete Game have turned this on his end. You can see Baby from the hillside. It's a 4 versus 3 now, Crowns. Berserker is knocked away by Fender. There's 2 knocked away now for Neon Rising. Once again, Crowns, Neon Rising is struggling.
And it's looking like they're going for off angles, which, sometimes could throw you off as a team. That's what we saw coming through from Berserker, and he did get taken out as he was trying to find that off angle. And seeing that Baby has fallen back a little bit from that guy, it's going to make things even worse or even tougher, really, for the side of Neon Rising. Now, I'm looking forward to seeing Athlete Gaming capitalize on this one because right now they know all well and good that this is a 3v2, and they should be able to isolate the one player in that guy and try to see if they can, get the full team wipe.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the best call. That would be the best idea for them. But taking a look at Monster here, these guys are active right now. 4 eliminations, and this is one of the newer teams into the NPL. I saw them practicing when we did host the Game Fest in, I believe it was Abuja, if I'm not mistaken, or Ibadan, one of the Game Fest. But I think they're one of the newer teams to come through into the NPL. Breakout season for them, and they have been performing quite nicely in this game. But Prothlease, also another breakout team, but I don't think I can say they're on the same wavelength. 4 portions downhill, taking shots, but I don't think they can do anything from there. But Crowns, how do you feel about these new teams? Do you think they have what it takes to actually be a threat to the teams that we already know in the NPL?
And that's one thing that I'm going to be looking out for, really. I'm going to be really looking out for these teams. And one thing I'm looking out for specifically in their gameplay would be the confidence. Because really, when you're coming into a lobby like this, as you said, debut, your debut tournament, I would like you to want to shake things up, just go all confident as compared to trying to, let us try to adapt to the lobby and everything. I think in this case, you want to go and make the lobby try to adapt to you. Go all out. And that's one thing that I'm enjoying to see right now, at least from Monsters. 4 points that they were able to get in the first game, and now getting into the second game, getting off to a good start with 4 eliminations already, before even stage 2. I could already tell, like, this kind of game, if you get 4 eliminations, if you're that kind of team, Monsters, you're really the Monsters. I'd like to see you guys capitalize on that and, wreak havoc on the entire lobby.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I would love to see them capitalize and wreak havoc. And something else as well, when it comes to, debut season for some of these teams, it also ties into the fact that the NPL takes a little bit more than what one would think. If you are trying to win, it takes a little bit more than it takes a little bit more. You have to play a significant amount of games. No Panic is actually going to get knocked away by that guy. And Neon Rising have turned this into a 2 versus 1. And Fender tries to escape it, and he spotted, and he will be knocked away. And Neon Rising will struggle no more. They will send Athlete Game back into the lobby in a 2 versus 3 crowns. And that is where that experience comes into play.
And then for Neon Rising, this is a case of, you've seen how you took out 3 players there from the side there of Athlete Game. You see that you had to do it together as a team, pushing, as compared to looking for those off angles, and off angles is really what put them at the disadvantage early on in the fight. But I gotta give them their kudos, taking up a 3v2, that guy getting 3 eliminations out of 4. Yeah, that is actually good. But now that's where the old trouble starts from, because right now they have to deal with that third party that is coming through just on the outskirts.
Yeah, you're right. They definitely have to deal with those third parties. I think that is where the bane of their existence is going to be. It's going to be hard not to crack. But for the most part, all of these teams need to rise to the occasion. That's a big spray from Baby there. Monsters, they're going to have to come out from under the bed right now. They are trying to make something out of this. Hunter circles back all the way through. And Baby continues to mount the pressure. Maybe is not backing down from this one. He's taking it on. And HR, unfortunately, has been knocked away and will be getting finished to try to hold this off. But that's going to be the end. The beautiful grenade from Baby will shut that down. And Hunter now is 1v1 against Baby. Spray is still tries again. Doesn't connect. QBZ against QBZ. But that guy plays off the right-hand side. I think they could play in this 1v2. Hunter exposes body a little bit too much there. And he's hurt. And he will be dropped with a DBS. Beautiful stuff from Neon Rising, showing their experience again.
And it's not just the experience, it goes on to show the confidence that I was talking about, because the Monsters pushed into that fight and did not fully show that prowess. And then Neon Rising smelling like, oh, looks like whatever opponent is trying to third party us, it doesn't look like they're really experienced with that. So let us just go out all out and take them out. And that is exactly what it did. I mean, look at that bold push coming through from that guy there. That is how you just know, like, this player is confident, loves how he's feeling at the moment, and he's ready to tackle any team that is in their ways. And I really hope the Monster, when they watch this back, they will be able to take 1 or 2 home from that engagement.
Yeah, you're right. They would definitely have to take 1 or 2 things home, because DS1, it looks like they're not taking anything here, man. They're taking hit after hit. Luxnas has popped through. And that's a big shot with the SFK, but the grenade, he shut it down immediately. He didn't even give him a chance to do anything, man. He did not give him a chance. Yeah, he was about to start going crazy with that S12K, but that grenade shut it down immediately.
And we cannot overemphasize the importance of grenades in this game, and that is really a savior for the side there of Dark Esports, because that was looking a little shaky on their end, but they would survive that fight with 3 players to go. The side of Neon Rising, I believe they should be able to make their rotation out of here. I don't think Olamide is in any mood to take shots at them, so they will be fine. Crazy Weirdos, and to be honest, I gotta say, leaving the Hamatan split, it was something that I was saying, like, oh, I really hope to see these teams come back for the rain splits. And, seeing the likes of Crazy Weirdo, Real Esports, all come back, Ragnar, I'm seeing familiar names that I've seen before in the old split. Makes me feel like, okay, yes, these teams have chosen to stay together, and now I'm looking forward to seeing that you guys did not just stay together, you've actually been practicing and doing some work behind the scenes.
Yeah, and it's also very imperative to see that they've not, stopped pushing. Olamide from Monsters, the front man, and the IGL, he has been putting in a shift today, and he did manage to get the knock on. That was one hell of a Molotov, I tell you that. That's a beautiful one over the top side. But he can't seem to get the angles right, and he cannot allow for this pickup. But unfortunately, that's going to be the case. If I was Olamide, I would full send it. I'll take the 1v2. Whatever happens, happens. This one could be one for the highlight reel. But unfortunately, I think he's not going to take it. But again, it's all in the confidence, like you said earlier. It's how confident are you? How far are you willing to go to stamp your name, to be in the highlight reel?
Yeah, because there's already that smoke there that is looking to just throw away the vision there from the side of Neon Rising. He also had one more smoke in his backpack. So it was a thing where he could just, throw that one smoke, try to see if he can find a little bit of an angle and push up onto that revive. But then again, it does get tough in this kind of situation. Man is on fire. I believe whenever the Molotov or the throwables hit, you get a little bit of a notification as to where, it hits. So Olamide right now, 2 bandages to work with, 2 players pushing up onto it. Goes for the pick and finds one. And he's on that thing. As we can see that guy trying to see if he can pick it out. Olamide doesn't have too much HP. Going for the quick fix. He's doing it. Down to 1 HP is going to be that guy. And Olamide, you're going to have to fall back a little bit. He has to start using those bandages though. You have to stay within close proximity.
Is he gonna go for the res? Is he gonna go for the pickup? Because this is the defining moment right now. He's going back for the pickup, but unfortunately, Olamide does not have the meds. Olamide Badu, can you get active though? Because this would be a perfect highlight reel moment for him though. Can he do something about this? He's low on meds. He's got nothing, and now it's unfortunate for him. It's so unfortunate for Olamide. He can't. He doesn't have the utilities. He's got only one more bandage, but unfortunately, there's nothing left for him. I don't think he's going to survive it, but he has put up one hell of a performance for the Monsters, and it is well deserved. Absolutely incredible stuff coming through from him. I would be impressed. If he walks into this house now, he finds a med kit on the ground or something. Oh, just one med kit. Unfortunately.
Respect to Olamide for that one. That was a gameplay and a half, but this is just one of those situations where you're getting cooked not just by the game, but at this pace, I would say he was getting cooked by the universe. We would not get too much of our attention on that one. We'll talk about that one later as we see new generation, or new gen, pushing up onto what I might like to call the old takers in 4 portions, and it's now what we look to see who's going to hold down the fort.
Yeah, New Gen had an amazing game, in yesterday's group matches. They were literally in the top 4 up until the last game. But again, Trona biting off a little bit more than he can chew. He gets hurt immediately as well. Ibile has to provide some sort of cover fire. He's playing in from the south side. There's too much space between him and the next man. Trona has been knocked away, and this guy is the main guy for the team. 4 portions. They smell blood in the water. If they can keep them at bay, it could prove something special for New Gen here if they can stamp their foot against one of the strongest old takers inside of the NPL.
Yeah, and that's where it starts to get interesting because they did get 2 knocks onto the side of 4 portions. One of the thirsts they were able to get. I was expecting to see that full push onto them. That's what they were trying to do. That's an interesting club there by El Chapo, by the way. But they were trying to push up onto that fight. But it did seem like that third party coming in through from No More Esports was a little too strong. And speaking of that third party, we just saw that zone push up again towards the eastern side. And it looks as though from that last split, right now we still have that same everybody is obsessing over the edge gameplay because everyone right now is at the edge of that blue zone, and it's like there's like 4 teams in this position right now.
I knew you were going to bring this up. Yeah, it's something I realized even from the earlier games, the earlier matches over the past 2 days from the various groups, and now tying it all together into Group C. It's pretty much the same thing. They are playing a little bit too close to the edge, and I've seen teams get hurt by the blue zone because they don't have a plan for when the zone shifts too far out, and it costs them a lot. And I'm starting to see that time and time again. But eyes on the prize though. 4 portions, 2 eliminations to the good, but no more esports have them pinned in, and I don't see them making their way
Can't
out
see
of
him.
this except they have some vehicles. But yeah, I don't think Ace can do much from here. Even if he does get a knock, I don't think he can get a flush from that distance. The best point of action for me, I would say, is for them to find a vehicle and get out of dodge.
Definitely. Get out of dodge would be the play. And speaking of getting out of dodge, I'm surprised to see teams like, is this picked? Anyway, they're on their feet just running. I'm like, what is going on? Oh, looks like no more esports are getting started on that elimination feed. I'm just keeping my eye out to see what is going on in that part because and I don't want to take too much of a jab towards picks because it's like, why are you guys rotating on foot? But I guess now we get to see the fight. No more esports going to go for that fight. Instant thirst is going to be found. I think 4portion have realized that they're fighting, and 4portion using that opportunity to get out of dodge. Love that.
Yeah. 4 portions capitalizing on that. El Chapo makes the move a little bit closer, but I think No More still have them on side. No More Pain was knocked away there, but I think he has gotten picked up. Jackson Blade will be getting knocked off as well, and I think that could be the end of the road for New Gen. Again, some of these teams, they are very good when it comes to going pound for pound in open space, but awareness and experience is where they struggle. Is just where they struggle. A team like New Gen, they are very good when it comes to taking engagements in an open field or trying to breach a team that's trying to defend, that kind of thing. But when it comes to getting caught between two teams in a third party, they don't know how to navigate in scenarios like that. That is why No More and 4 portions will come out of this possibly unscathed, but New Gen will be the team caught in the crossfire.
Yep, New Gen, the ones that came through for the third party, they're the ones on the losing end. The other team there was another team there that was for a third party as well, but I feel like they could have left that, and that's where you start to make that difference between playing edge and just tanking zone, right? And if there is one thing that I would say to all of these teams, if you guys are listening to this point, if you're trying to play edge, get at least one person, preferably the IGL, I know, right? Preferably the IGL to keep an eye on the clock. Once that zone closes, right now, if you're looking at the zone, you're looking at the game, underneath the map, you see that timer that's counting down, it's visible to everyone. So if you're on the edge, you're telling your team, if we're doing this third party, right now, I will tell my team we have 50 seconds. Give myself at least that 20-second grace or even 15-second grace where it's like, oh, guys, we have about 50 seconds to finish this fight. If we have not gotten anywhere in that 50 seconds, we're packing it up or we're finding a way to win. And that way you get to not drink a lot of blue juice and, make your way into the circle. Crowns Nuggets for today. It's going to cost you guys a little bit of money, but I'll be sending you people the receipts, the invoice later.
Well, Crowns has dropped some interesting nuggets for you guys, so you always got to keep an eye on the clock. And No More Pain will feel some pain here from Skills. Arab T now setting the standard for the engagements here, and I think they will want to commit to this. Here they come in a 4 versus 3. Arab T, they want the smoke this time. Big knocks could come through here if Aura's exposed. Cesar will go back into the lobby, and that's going to be the end for New Gen. And Skills is trying his best to make something out of it. That's a good grenade, but Aura just a couple of inches shy, but it does connect. And No More Betting will try to hold this on. S12K sways left and right and shuts the door immediately there on No More Aura. And No More Esports are feeling the chaos now from Arab. They are in full swing, in full fire. Skills continues to pipe a couple shots into the smoke. All it takes is just a little hit marker, and he will be well on his way. Arab they are turning this around. Fortune also deep in the northern side, and they could get a piece of this action. El Chapo could want some of this third-party match. Skills here to knock. Ataro will over to the other side as well. No mercy, 1 HP, almost getting him knocked away. And Arab T will deal the damage, but No More Betting will steal one away somehow.
All right, Atarodo's already got a grenade Peptinanto. I'm betting definitely is not surviving that one at all. And I feel like they put in too much effort in trying to revive Pain there. I feel like that's a little bit of an obsession. You revive Pain, now you go into a vehicle. Like, bro, get out of the vehicle, man. But I'm going to assume that Ping was probably having a play in that one. But nonetheless, with the zone, we do see that zone about to close up again. Doesn't quite favor anyone. It is going straight to the center in a lobby where everybody wants to play edge. And, you know, Ragnar, very close on the new edge. Every other team really has to find their way into the zone. We are in stage 6, or well, we are in zone 5, or whatever, you get the vibe. Zone 5, where, you know, revives aren't really very plausible anymore, and we've still got 29 players and 11 teams still alive.
Ooh. Well, 29 players in the cut, 11 teams all looking for a way into the zone. You can see all of these edge merchants. They are starting to hurt. The blue zone is starting to take away from their utilities. It's going to cost them in the long run. Unsullied Army being one of the victims as well. You can see 999 going out to the zone. Imagine the last player on your team still going out to the zone. That is how deep in the edge of the zone you have to be getting swept off in zone 5. That is diabolical activity if you ask me. But it is not over just yet. 2 games down. There's still a couple more games, but damn, man, that top 9 is looking far, man. It's looking far for some of these teams, bro. It's starting to look far away. You know, 2 games in, 0 points. Yeah, that's some nasty stuff, Crowns. That's nasty.
Yep, and it does look like the only team that pretty much, well, if we're looking at some of those teams on the bottom, there's only like Harsh Esports and Crazy Weirdos. They seem to be the only teams that have enough numbers that can still give them enough points that can toss them into that top 9. Harsh Esports, a team that I would actually say maybe this is a late entry, but another team I'm looking forward to, of course, because of the player monkey on that team. Leaving Vanguard to come to Harsh Esports, I would like to see what her contribution really to this team would be, given the track record that you know, she has in the community.
Yeah, I mean, I still think they're gonna do well enough. You know, all they have to do is just find their rhythm. It's a little bit slow, and again, this group plays over 2 days, unlike the other groups that play only 1 day. So this group, they have a little bit of time to learn and adapt, but some teams will use this advantage and create a nasty gap today, so they don't have to worry about it tomorrow. You know, and those teams, they gotta keep their eye on the prize. They're Arab team now trying to put a little bit of pressure between themselves and Ragnar, put the distance between them and force them to make a mistake. Skills has to play off that left-hand side, but he does find a position. Ragnar fighting for their lives. They're being forced into that little steep corner, but now Skills has to be very careful. Real Esports go out in 9th, and Arab T, they might be feeling themselves a little bit here.
I think right now RT Esports needs to prioritize, right? It's going to be hard to take that fight against the side of Ragnar because of the third party coming through from Harsh Esports. But then again, if they choose to go for Harsh Esports, it starts to get very tricky. I expected a more aggressive push coming through from RT Esports onto Ragnar, but it did look like they were not in that mindset. New player, you might need to do better than that if you're trying to take out the side of RT Esports, as they're still up by 4 players, but they have RT Esports right in front of them, and Harsh Esports being very, very strong on that third party.
Yeah, I mean, they have a very, very good position. Arab T, you can see them playing a little bit compacted, excellent use of the smokes, shielding the vision. They know that what they have to do is to keep Ragnar out of sight, but it looks like that's not going to be the case there. New player continues to mount the pressure, and that's a big spray, and Skills is going to be knocked away. There's trouble in paradise for Arab T, but that is what you love. The reply is instantaneous. You peek around too long, you will get hurt, and Arab T is one of those teams that will hurt you. But let's not forget, Afro Esports, this is their playground. Miramar belongs to them, and they're starting to show it now. But Harsh are trying to keep this slow and steady. They're trying to find a way into the zone. Kev has tried to circle back. Has the pattern inside.
Nice.
Sprays again, and Arab T will be shut out.
GG.
Harsh Esports somehow have made it through, but the play zone and the grenades and everything in between will put them out of their misery.
4 portions also going out in the midst of all of that chaos, with Neon Rising still alive as 8 eliminations is what they have to the tally. They start to take shots towards the side of Afro Esports. And we do know Afro Esports being the team that was second place on that leaderboard. Right now, they are going at it. You were talking about teams looking to give themselves a gap on the first day. And Afro Esports keeping up that consistency from game one. They are here in game two. 4 eliminations already up. That guy is already been seen on the floor. I'll be surprised if that nade doesn't take him out. It doesn't, but the AUG will do the work. Ragnar, they have to stay quiet and take advantage of this one. Everybody's still on the edge.
There's only so much space they could have right now, but it looks like that guy's going to be knocked away, though. Neon Rising struggling to keep all of their players up, but I think they've done an amazing job getting this far, putting some major points on the board for themselves. Afro Esports, they were denied that first chicken dinner, but I don't think they will be denied this time. And I told you,
31.
no other team in the NPL has more chicken dinners in Miramar than Afro Esports. No other team. The closest team to them is 5 chicken dinners away, and that is 1011 Ecstasy. 1011 Ecstasy have 21 chicken dinners, and now Afro Esports could potentially have 27. That is how dominant Afro Esports have been in Miramar over the course of the NPL in the past 3 seasons. So that has been an amazing turnout for them. Ragnar Crowns have made it into the top 2.
Yeah, I would have expected, a little bit more of a should I say closer push onto the side of Afro Esports from Ragnar there. There is a smoke that is blocking. Oh my god. Oh, he doesn't know that that's what's happening, but I know because I'm watching. Squash is going to see him in a matter of time because if he knew they were falling back, that would have been his push. Actually, he doesn't need to know. He's already pushing up. S12K in hand, 10 bullets to also work with. Chris has got a grenade loading up from behind him. This is looking to prep towards his position. Stops with the nade, but Ragnar, they're not quite loaded up as one player is not having his cover fire. Chris, though, he knows where the rest of these players are. Dracula, make that Alucard, has to fall back. That's the way out. Look at that. Jonas, you need to help. Alucard falls. And Fronesses cannot do too much because you've got 3 guns pointed at you. And of course, that chicken dinner would go over to the side of Afro Esports. You said they might make it 27. I think they heard you on that one. And they are adding more to the tally. Afro Esports, a team that we pointed out in the beginning of the game, finishing that final game with a winner chicken dinner.
Afro Esports showing us exactly who the Kings of Miramar are once again. The most wins in a Miramar game in the NPL, 27 chicken dinners in Miramar. Beautiful stuff coming through. I mean, these guys, they played it perfectly. They know the map. They knew exactly what to do. They didn't, get into all that noise. They didn't need to go too crazy. It showed in their stats. It showed in the play style. 8 eliminations, chicken dinner, nothing out of the ordinary. They just had to put themselves in the right spots, and the rest is history.
And it's so interesting to see Chris also starting to get back in form. This is one player that we know has been in community for a while. He does have that bag of experience in him. I did see him pop off in that first game, and seeing him do the same again in the second game and having the likes of Neo, I think that kind of takes away that pressure off of Neo being IGL and the Fragger at the same time. Having someone like Chris who can also lift up the weight of the team, that is something that is really helpful for Afro Esports right now.
Yeah, too, very, very helpful. 11k in heals though. 11,000 heals. That was a lot of healing.
Someone in Ragnar had 31 bandages, and it's so sad because he had 31 and Olamide just needed like 5, bro. He just needed like 5.
But 1,700 for Afro Esports to 1,500 from Neon Rising. Neon Rising putting in that work. They put in a shift in this game, owing to the fact that they got into early engagements and they lost some bodies earlier on. And big shout out to Olamide that put in some serious work and forced them. He really, really cost them, something. I think that engagement contributed to the amount of heals that we saw, because these guys were really doing a lot of healing. But that guy is the MVP. Almost 1,000 in damage with 1 assist, 27 minutes on the clock, all by his lonesome. Now that guy, this is where experience comes into play. He is really, really top draw.
I mean, we did see him put in a whole lot of work going up against the players there from Monsters. Yeah, Monsters there. Or, well, actually, what did they land with? Athlete Gaming, yeah. Where he did get 3 of their players done and out into the lobby. But definitely one player to look out for was Neon, that guy. And man, looking at this elimination or top eliminations, I'm actually happy with what I'm seeing. You know, I've seen players actually put up, you know, decent numbers up on the board. No one's really too far off from anyone.
Yes, it's good numbers, you know, 4 apiece, 4 across the board. It's really solid. You can see that everybody's putting in a decent shift for each of their teams. But 18 points for Afro Esports to top up with the one that they already got in the previous game. They are showing exactly what they are made of. Neon Rising finally getting their handle on things. 13 points to the good. Solid performance from them. They can do so much better. Ragnar in 3rd with 11. Arab T in 4th with 8. Again, Arab T still falling short of a double-digit finish. Dark Knights and Harsh Esports sharing 7 apiece. No more Monsters with 5 apiece. 4 portions, Crypto and Proteus with 4 apiece as well. And then, you know, New Gen Athlete Game 2 apiece, Unsullied Army with 1 point, Real Esports with 1, DS1 with 1, Umoja Gaming, Crazy Weirdos, and Spike T, no points on the board. 2 games down, Crowns.
And I think this is something I want to look at, really, how Crazy Weirdos played this game, because at the point they were alive, right? I think when we had 11 teams, they were still up as a full squad, and I remember talking about them being one of those teams that still have a chance in the top 9, and, you know, seeing that they still went out with 0 eliminations. Sometimes when you're playing quiet, it might not help. But man, it is looking like Dark Esports. Make that Dark Knights. They are having a couple players show up here. Them and Afro Esports, they are doing the numbers.
Yeah, they actually are. Dark Knights still in the mix here. Trap in front. Naruto as well. HWK also in the cut. Neo has bumped himself up into the top 4. SWAT as well from Afro Esports. So it's Afro Esports, Dark Knights, DS1. And taking a look at that now, you can see the top 9 on the left side of your screen. Afro Esports, DS1, Ragnar, Dark Knights, Arab T, No More, Neon Rising, Crypto, and Monsters. Currently, as it stands, these are the top 9 teams. But Crowns, what do you think of the other side of this leaderboard?
Other side of the leaderboard still looking contestable. There's just 1 point. Currently top 9 threshold is at 9 points. We do see Harsh Esports with 8, Umoja with 6. There is still that chance. Like, one good game would get you into this top 9. Now you just need to. I don't even want to say the word locking anymore. You know what? Locking counter, we're not doing that anymore. Right now, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Afro Esports. 34 points, 10-point lead over 2nd place with DS1. And I'm really hoping DS1, this is not one of those situations where you get the one good game and then you fall off afterwards. So I'm really looking forward to seeing them pull through in this next game of the day. And this next game of the day, if there is one place that you want to grab as many points as possible, you do that on the map of Sandhawk.
Yes, sir. Sanok is coming up next, ladies and gentlemen. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date. Sanok is up next. And let's see if Afro Esports will maintain this steez or if they're going to get knocked away. Sanok is going to be very, very chaotic. So don't talk that down. I'll be right back after the break.
Welcome to the Pioneer edition of the 10NET Campus Game Fest 2025, and we are live at the University of Ibadan. Game on.
Hi, this is Precious. So I'm at Game Fest, and this is my first time coming to Game Fest, and I've been loving it so far. My favorite game of today is Just Dance.
My name is Osaz. I won the FC 25 tournament. But it was a very tough tournament, especially the first game. I went to penalties after extra time.
Is Kamalafe winner. I participated in today's tournament in 10 and 80 and Monster tournament, and I was the winner for Free Fire.
My name is Israel. I won the F1 sim racing competition that was held here.
Hello, my name is Olale, and I won Street Fighter 6.
I participated in the Just Dance game, and I've been moving my body. And yes, Game Fest, I would like for you to come back to UI bigger and better.
Mission.
Hi guys, it's me Tue, and I'm live here at the 10 and 80 Game Fest campus happening right here in Abuja. If you are seeing this, there's lots of games, music, networking, and so much fun happening. And the best part, it's all free.
My name is Russia, and I'm the winner for the PUBG Mobile.
Joshua, I won the tournament for Street Fighter 6. Shalom,
From Winifred.
It's Mustafa Sani. I'm the winner for the Forza Horizon 3 Championship. I won the fire competition today. It was hosted by 10 and 80 and Monster.
We need more of this. We need 10 more, 20 more. I did this every day.
I want to say a very big thank you to 10 and 80 and Monster for hosting this competition.
This has shown me that e-sport can go far in Nigeria.
When I saw the opportunity to compete in this game, I knew that yes, this is it. I can definitely win it, and I came out victorious today.
Huge thank you to 10 and 80 and Monster for the wonderful tournament hosted.
I want to thank the sponsors, 10 and 80 and Monster Energy, for bringing such a wonderful event.
from CS12. Now Imade is not able to use that. Now the War Machine, Demo against Hyper. He needs to clear that hill. The boys in yellow. Hyper finds him, shuts him down. And 340, 10 more seconds through that door. The Oil Money team, are they going to make history? Very first land, very first win. 347, 348. Now the contest. The boys in lead, no way through. And they are going to hold it down. So S are your champions.
Welcome to the Pioneer edition of the 10NET Campus Game Fest 2025, and we are live at the University of Ibadan. Game on.
Hi, this is Precious. So I'm at Game Fest and this is my first time.
All right. Showtime. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the show. It is the Nigerian Pro League Season 8. It's the rain split. It is Priest here, and I've still got my man Crowns in the cut. Crowns, how are you feeling? You know, Miramar showed us a little bit of action here and there, a little bit of strategy, but now Sandhawk is in the mix. What are you expecting from Sandhawk?
You know, when they say anything that is regarding violence, I will be there. But I'm hearing things that it does look like we
Erangel, not so we have Sandhawk last.
All right, it does look like we're going into Erangel. Nonetheless, actually, that makes things actually nice. I think I like that, to be honest, like going into Erangel before you go into Sandhawk. And the reason why I'm saying I like that is because Sandhawk forces you to be aggro. You know, Sandhawk forces you to fight earlier than you would normally want to fight. So ending the day on that note, you know, usually many teams would want to end the day on Erangel where they're now trying to play gentle and slow, you know, just try to keep points. But when it's like that Sandhawk, you don't have a choice, man. You have to go at it. So I'm kind of glad about this. And this Erangel playing path, it's about to get fun.
Some drastic, some special, you know, all the way from Zarki down to military base. I think those teams that love to play out of military base are gonna like this one. But again, I've seen, you know, playing paths that. Do you think there are playing paths that favor some teams than others? Do you think that that's like really a thing when you see the playing path and you're like, okay, this favors these teams more than these teams?
I mean, I would say that, but at the same time, the only reason why I don't think it really applies to this lobby because, as we all know, there would always be hot drops, right? So if it were to be in a lobby where everybody has their specific drop spots, everyone knows how to get to their drop spots, even though it's not on the playing path, I would say yes, there are some playing paths that would favor you as a team. Right now, if you're because it's the map of Erangel and we pretty much know that map like the back of our hands. Even if you land somewhere in Yasnaya Poliana, you can land around the Rozok area or school area, get that car spawn and drive all the way to Yasnaya Poliana. These are the kind of things or kind of plays I would expect to see from teams as compared to what we're seeing here in hot drops in the military island, hot drops in farm, hot drop in Jojopo, hot drop in even Zarki, and hospital is empty, South Jojopo is empty, Pochinki is empty, Yasnaya is
like
empty.
it's crazy, man. How South George is empty, but Zarki has like 3 teams there, bro.
Meh. Like North George has
You
like
know?
another 3 teams.
I mean, but it's still part of the learning curve. DS1 looking good though. I think they got their hands active earlier on. I think it's against the guys from Crazy Weirdos. 4 portions on the other side. We get one up. Yeah. So what I'm seeing here is, did he get stabbed out of the car?
That's some UK shit.
Yo, did he just
Wow.
get knifed out of the car? Yo,
Damn.
crazy.
Bro came out and took it to the heart, bro. Took it to the chest. It's like,
Yo,
yeah, that's
yo, yo, seeing it again still makes it still hits the same, bro.
Damn.
Shout out to production for catching that
Can't
one, bro.
lie.
I'm sure that one is going to that one is going to make memes, bro. We have to make memes out of that, man. We have to make clips out of that. 'Cause
Bruh.
stabbing someone out the car, is that how OP the knife is? Damn.
Bruh. Nah, he was ready. He's like, if this is the one thing I'm gonna do today, I will do that. What a play. What a play. Shooting range does seem to have a little bit of trouble there as we see the team there from Spikt going up against DS1. Dami's got the way come back and do the damage, but the rest of the team here for DS1, they don't seem to have those long range guns, well, except for Relax, who's going for that push. Jump shot's going to come through, and that is going to be Spikt going out early again. And it is just very sad-ish to see that, the 2 teams that are currently out of the lobby are the 2 teams that are on the bottom of the leaderboard. I'm not going to extend too much on that point. I'm just going to mention it.
Yeah, I mean, funny enough, compared to the last split, I think Crazy Weirdos, they've played so much better in the Hamatan split as compared to like right now. I'm not sure
Definitely.
why. I was expecting a little bit more from them coming into this lobby. I saw a lot of performances that mirrored what they could have potentially done, but it's just unfortunate that this lobby has something different, just has something different going forward for them. But it is what it is. Neon Rising now. Oh, how greedy!
Well, that is one player. And it does look like they're from Neon Rising on that. They really want all of that. And Neon Rising, do not make the same mistake you made in Miramar. I can see Baby's already on an off angle. You can hear 2 footsteps upstairs. You've got at least 3 players. Please, I would like to see a little bit of a push as that guy does send a grenade to the stairs. A little bit pre-cooked. But they've got 3 players here. They might have to push upstairs. They will have to push upstairs. As we still see Baby on that off angle, he does come through as he's able to find that one knock. That guy does fall, but yep, indeed he does fall. But the rest of Neon Rising are there to prevent a possible thirst. Baby still looking to go for that push. The grenade is sent into the right room. It's looking good. Ibila is not moving. I think he's further behind. We're still seeing more grenades come through. Ooh, that one bounced off the window. And Neon Rising in a little bit of a world of hurt right now as Berserker is down. Wizard's gonna clutch it up. But they lose that guy in the midst of all of that chaos.
Yeah, they really lost that guy. I was not expecting him to get sent back into the lobby, but New Gen, they are one of those teams that do not take things lying down. They do not back away. Baby's on the ground floor, charging a grenade, trying to get inside. Cesar's trying to circle it back. Jackson Blade goes back into the lobby. He's not liking that one, but it is part of the consequences of having to play up front alongside Trona. But now Cesar and Ibile, they have to think twice, and they have to think long and hard about their next plays here. Neon Rising have the ball in their court. They did manage to get one elimination, but I don't think that's going to stop Neon Rising from taking the advantage and pressing even further. No More and DS1 are locking horns, and things are about to get very steep for Cesar and the rest of New Gen right here.
Alrighty, and it does look like Neon Rising are looking to get started on the push, baby. Trying to see if he can go upstairs. They're not really using those audio cues because obviously Generation are moving. Vila is going to be the first to fall. Caesar tries to get a couple shots, but no, he cannot do it. Goes in with a shotgun, looks for one, but cannot find as Baby shoots him up. Goes for the DMs as those crates would be hearing the most of those 12 gauges. Neon Rising emerge victorious here in Yasnaya Poliana.
Yes,
sorry,
sir.
that military base.
We saw that happening, and Neon Rising were not going to take that one lying down. They were going to press the advantage, add some more points to their tally because they are really slipping. They were really slipping off. So this is a good start for them, you know. And unfortunately, DS1 have managed to get themselves 4 eliminations, but they have lost 3 in the process. It's a mighty expensive trade, if you ask me. But Arab T, on the other hand, still sitting quite nicely here. They've seen the potential for something to come out of this, though. Looks like Crypto, the guys from Crypto Esports, are not going to like this one, but Bitcoin has been knocked down, and it mirrors exactly how Bitcoin is dipping right now.
I would act as if I didn't see that one. But I was gonna say, I don't want a case where DS1 makes it in with just the 28 points that they have, because with the way the teams at the bottom of the table are playing, they're not playing as though DS1 should be scared right now. It's one of those cases where I'm hoping top 9, the threshold is not 28 points. Because right now, that would just be too easy for DS1. That's just going to be one good game, and they just played rubbish the entirety of the day. Or, well, the entirety of the remaining 2 days. So I want to see the bottom teams give them a run for their money.
Yeah, because you can't afford to not be consistently putting up crazy numbers, or at least some consistent numbers, over time. Losing out to 3 players and getting 4 eliminations is a good way to is a good way to start, but you can't be playing like that in all the games. You have to consistently put some interesting points there. But it looks like Unsullied Army have started to rise to the occasion here. Layla, unfortunately, did get knocked away there. Trying to trade off, but Arab T, they just breach into the stairs, and that will be the end of, I believe that was the Prothletes. They did lose 1 there, but Crypto Boys will try this one as well to hold on to the side there. Ground floor, if you ask me. The smoke's already coming out. S12K stinging from side to side. Crypto Boys are not taking this one lying down. Solana wants a piece of the action. Rude Boy opens the door, and he's going to be shut out immediately as well, and that will be the end. Professor will take Solana back to school, and that will be the end of the road for the Crypto Boys.
Well, at least that gives them a little bit more time to check the charts. But that being said, speaking of charts, they're currently seated in number 8 on the leaderboard, 9 points to their name. Hopefully, they do not get overtaken in this game. Unsolid Army looking to get started on a strong foot. 2 eliminations that they've been able to get. They did lose 1 player in the engagement, so that puts them in a 3v2. I can understand if they are not pushing up onto that fight just yet. But we're starting to see a couple of those teams in the middle of the leaderboard start to go out little by little. So basically, if you're on the bottom of that leaderboard, if you're not in the top 9, you do have a chance. And Prothletes just continue to take the damage as they're down to just 1 player in Ned.
Ned has to think twice about this one, though. Fighting on Solid Army Zarki is never a good idea. He has a good jump shot, and he does connect, though. 999 had no idea that was happening to him. He missed, but he did manage to to get the drop on him though, and Ned will be sending it one after the other. Another jump shot into the corner again. Tries to break through, but he takes the hit.
On your side, pick him out.
Tries to get the angle as well. Again, he will be trying to sweep through, but Jesse, the 48-64, will put an end to his misery.
I was really waiting for a clutch moment there, but unfortunately, it doesn't quite happen all the time. On Solid Army, able to put the pin in that one. 4 eliminations, they lose 2, but they would remain as a 2-man squad. And I would have loved to say I want to see how they'll play, but I kind of already know how they're going to play from here on out, so I'm not going to even stretch too much on that one. No more esports looking to make their rotation. And by the way, I'm really looking. I feel like the reason why we've not lost so many teams is because the zone, it's because Jojopo, North Jojopo, falls in the center of the circle. If not, I feel like we would have lost like 3 out of those teams that are up there. But everybody is already in the circle right now, and this is one thing that I want to see really, how these teams are going to play, because seeing how they've been playing the first 2 games, that they're very edge oriented. Now that the zone has forced them to be in the center, how do you want to play? I want to know who are the true edge teams here, because right now I'm not seeing anybody trying to play edge. Everyone is just staying where that zone puts them. We know teams that really play edge, even if they find themselves in the circle, they would have found a way to get out of that circle to make it towards the edge. But right now everyone's forced into that center. I want to see how these teams are going to play.
Yeah, especially a team like Dark Knight. You can see them in the southern side. Ragnar as well, also in the south. It's going to be a very, very hard rotation for them to make without getting spotted out as the zone continues to progress forward. We've got a couple minutes for them to make their choices, but the zone has forced them into a little bit more of that northwestern position. Jojopo is very, very heavily contested here as we approach the third phase of the circle. More teams will start to pull up to this position, but Arab T have started to gain confidence. They've started to put some work in, but Ragnar have set their sights now on Neon Rising. Again, somehow they will be getting called out. New player, 1 HP, but he does manage to get his HP up, but I spoke too soon. Oh, that's a big risk that Wizard took, and he's punished immediately for it. Ragnar continue their onslaught after the last game that they had. These guys now have put their foot on the gas.
They're definitely putting that foot on the gas, and the same thing can be said about Berserker as he's activating that JP card. And this is what I was saying about taking time. You're looking at the time, you're looking at the clock. Once the time is going, there really is no point to be drowning outside the circle. 4 portions though, taking the fight onto the side of Afro Esports. This is a fun one to watch, really. Picture already up by 3 eliminations, and the side of Afro Esports in the world of hurt, as they've lost 2 players right now. They're down to just the 2.
Big moves from 4 portions. Now this is the 4 portions I know, currently sitting in 13th. That is not ideal for them, but they are looking very comfortable in this position that they've got so far. I think they will be able to play around this area and keep it under wrap and keep it under lock and keep going into the next phase of the circle. But it looks like Estarossa tried to climb in through the window, and he's going to get stopped immediately as well. But Professor is going to be hurt by a grenade from Olamide Babu, none other than, and the monsters now, they feel the action, but now Hunter was running in, and he will be getting hunted, and that will be the end of the road for him. Arab T continuously strong in the defense. Estarossa still knocked away. HR is AFK. Oh no, he's AFK.
That's tough. Hopefully he's able to get points, maybe placement points. Hey, he's back. Bro's like, oh shoot, I just went to turn on do not disturb, and your niggas is dead. Anyway, 3 players already gone for the side of Monsters. Can't lie, to be honest, Monsters, if you guys are listening, bro, you're not playing bad. I promise you. You just need to play as a team. Like, you can, from the way they're playing, you can see that they have that. Should I say they have the mindset? You can just see like they have what it is, but that not playing as a team, I think they still have a little bit of chemistry to work on, maybe. But you can just see like they're not really playing as a team. If they were playing as a team right now, RT were already in a world of hurt and they were already losing that battle. But unfortunately, things turned out the way they did. And HR, it looks like RT are on the sweep. You're still in the circle, which means they have time to go through every single building, bro. You might want to start activating that JP card, bro.
Yeah, Why HR was AFK. I didn't see the need for Hunter to start, running out in the open like that with no protection, just charging through, and that's why he
He was
got
not aware.
hurt. It was just an unfortunate scenario for him though, but I still like the way they play. They're not second guessing. Again, it hurts them because they don't play. They didn't in that particular scenario they didn't play as a unit, so it hurt them. But I still like the way they play. They're still looking very good. They're currently sitting in ninth though on Hashi Sports, Moja Gaming,
Mm.
four portions. These teams have the opportunity to climb and get away from them. Berserker now getting absolutely singed into this position. There's no way out for him. He's not beating the allegations. Four portions have him locked in here, and I really want to see how long he's gonna survive down here.
Yep, and that is one thing that I'm keeping my eye out on. Another thing I'm keeping my eye out on is really Monsters and that energy that they're going to bring into the next game. Because to be honest, I feel like Monsters being a new team, I have that sentimental support for you guys. And I know like right now it's going to get very tricky seeing that the teams that you have directly underneath you that you're holding ninth position, you have Archie Sports, you have Umoja Gaming, and you have four portions. Three teams that we know can be very, very lethal and dangerous whenever they want to get into or well, whenever they want to get serious, especially for portions and Umoja Gaming. Really, if Umoja can show me the Umoja that we saw in that Hamatan split, the league stages, I think Monsters might need to up the charge a little bit here.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. They really need to up the charge just a little bit. Four portions, we know exactly what they are capable of. We've seen the script. And I think this is one of those games where they show us exactly how it is done. Afro Esports put out in the open. They've lost two. SWAT and Chris will be the last two left. They're trying to deal with Umoja Gaming running around all over that, just that western side of Savannah. It's going to be a hard one to crack. But Unsolid
Please go
Army
up.
also deep in the western side, just outside of Zarki, and now the play zone has made that shift and has forced everyone into that Savannah position. It is all hell breaking loose right now. 13 teams, over 35 players, all looking for a way inside of the circle, trying to leverage their rotational abilities here. Now we're about to see the action break through. Afro Esports and the likes of Moja Gaming, all of these teams that are already here. It is going to be a very, 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 very big test on who can defend positions.
And for some of these teams, they will be thankful to the circle, to be honest. As we already mentioned earlier, that first circle did favor majority of the teams, where we had many of the teams already having a placement in that circle. Right now, there's a couple teams that need to make it into. There's a couple teams that need to make it into the circle, and I would like to see how they're going to do it. If there's one thing I'm going to advise anyone who's trying to get into the circle right now, go through the short line. You can never go wrong with it. Yeah, Severny is going to be a hot zone right now, and I don't understand why Umoja Gaming are trying to leave. But that's one knock they'll be able to get that reset and would hold things down here in Severny.
Yeah, I don't know what the plan was there though. Did they think that they were alone and that they were just driving around? I'm not really sure what the plan was for Umoja Gaming here. But again, don't forget some of these teams cannot afford to, they cannot afford to not qualify for the league stages because they already have grand final points. So if you do not qualify for the league stages, that means you do not get any grand final points for the rain split. You will be judged only on your performance in the Hamatan split, as opposed to teams that made both splits. So it's going to be very interesting to see teams like Umoja Gaming, because Umoja Gaming, looking at the grand finals leaderboard, they are currently sitting in I believe ninth place. They are in the top 10, and again, some of the teams that are beneath them have already put up incredible performances and have already qualified into the league, so they cannot afford to make any of those mistakes. They have to make sure that every single point will count going forward.
And Solid Army finding themselves in the guy. Just if the guy is gone, there's no point trying to perfect this. Just let it go. You're not going to use it any. I guess Jesse loves his cars. I guess he does love those vehicles. But we're already starting to see everyone start to form up little by little in Severny. And usually I don't like city finishes because obviously it starts to get slow. So right now I'm hoping that zone pushes away from Severny. I'm sorry, Umoja Gaming. I'm sorry, all the teams that are in Severny, but man, we don't want the city right now. We want the open field finishes. And to be honest, 4 portions right now, they're holding a very good portion of the circle. See what I did there? They're doing a very good part in that circle. And I'm looking forward to seeing how well they'll close. You already did say when we start to see 4 portions on this type of start, we know they are one team that goes off of momentum. So we'll see how well they're going to ride that wave going into this Erangel game.
Yeah, I do want to see if they will be consistent with it though, because you can see Peachy's already getting active once again. Yo, did he lock himself in? Yo, that's unfortunate though. But looks like Monsters will be sent back into the lobby. They go out in 13th place, no points gained. Unfortunate scenario for them. Hashi Sports now, it is their opportunity to climb into that top 9, and all they need to do is stay alive as long as possible. Umoja Gaming on the other side are trying their best to keep their defensive line straight and keep everything on the straight and narrow. But Afro Esports will be west of their position. You can see a chunk of the zone is still pretty much in the water. Arab team making their own rotation from that western side, and they might be running into the guys from Athlete Game. Now, that is one for the books, but take a look at that. The play zone has circled around Severny prior to what Crowns wanted, but the gods of PUBG Mobile do not want to answer to him, and they have given us a somewhat of a city finish, unless something diabolical happens in the next shift of the circle, but I don't see that happening. But Crowns, do you still think, those teams that made it to go into those teams that decided to just go straight into Savannah, do you think they made the right choice now?
Yep, definitely. I mean, even if the zone were not to be in Severny, it is still the right move that they've taken there because they're very close to the shoreline. They can always leave wherever, well, as much as whenever they need to. But that being said, yep. Nah, and PUBG Mobile gods, I know you're hearing me. I know it's been a while since I've played. I know it's been a while since I casted. But come on, man, like treat me right. Don't give me city finishes, man.
Well, I did see a little bit of a back and forth between Athlete Game and Arab T, though. Arab T will lose out one, but they will lose Professor this time to No More Esports. That is not what they saw on their bingo card holding out this position. No More looking very comfortable here. They've got 4 eliminations, but the only problem is they are not inside of the zone, and they are still, a ways away. They need to make their rotations relatively very quickly, but they are exposed, and now they started to take hits. Their vehicles going under heavy fire, and I think it's Athlete Game that have them on their sidelines. They cannot afford to lose their vehicles in this kind of precarious position
at all. Athlete Gaming holding very strong to that shoreline. I embrace it. I like it for the time being, and I like the way they're playing the shoreline as well. They're making it known to every other team that if you're trying to come here, we are here and we will take you out. Dark Knight's a team that I was just about to write their name down because right now, to be honest, I am enjoying the gameplay that I'm seeing from Dark Knights, especially rotation wise. This is not something that we saw from them in that Amatan split, and seeing that right now it's looking to be something that they're working on, because normally we would have seen them lose like more than one player on like their first rotation, but right now seeing them in stage 4 with all 4 players alive, I'm commending that right now. Dark Knights, take your flowers.
Yes, sir. Dark Knights have been very, very proactive. In these past 3 games, they have been very consistent putting in that work. About to see if they can do more of the same going into the final third, but No More Esports. They've started set their sights onto the guys from 4 portions, and this is not one of those engagements one would think that they would be expecting. But No More Pain will feel the pain there. The M4 straight and the AUG will connect all the way and send him back into the lobby. And 4 portions are active.
Now that was a play and a half coming through from El Chapo there. Like the switch going straight into the vehicle to avoid that run over was excellent. It was brilliant to see from them. Make that 4 portions already up by 7 eliminations, and they're looking to increase that tally as they take the fight onto the side of No More Esports. Betting is gonna fall once more. 9 eliminations for Afro for 4 portions. Sorry, and they have catapulted themselves into that top 8. I mean, they just had to. It was something that had to happen. I've seen this play before. I don't know if you remember, I think it was PMCO 2021, where they did this. I still have that clip somewhere and I'm going to find it, but I've seen this happen before. And the last time I saw this happen, it was a full squad that was in the bunker, and Berserker Sorry, bro. Just keep healing. Bele?
Yeah, man, they locked this guy in, man. That's unfortunate. Wait a minute. There's no way, right? There's no way, right? Yeah, yeah. Nah, you ain't slick, bro.
Wait,
You're
can
not
he?
making it in, man. What?
Really?
There's
Wait,
no
what?
way, right? There's no
Maybe off the
way.
bag.
Nah,
Try offing the
nah.
bag, bro.
There's nothing you wants to show me yet I've not seen
Oh,
before.
wait.
There's
I
no
think he
way,
can
bro.
nade the vehicle for it to
Nah,
move, but it's going to take
nah. The
damage,
vehicle
no?
has blown up already now. The vehicle is already blown up. I don't
Mm,
think he can move once it's blown up. Yeah, he's cooked. He's cooked. He already knows he's cooked. Yeah, he already knows it's cooked. Whoever
not
did it
even
to him,
one.
that's just diabolical, bro. Locking this
Bruh.
guy down there, blowing up the vehicle, man. That's just foul, bro.
Down,
That's just
Joe.
foul. Oh,
Yeah.
unfortunately, Neo Rising go out in 10th. They did put some points on the board for themselves. And now we're about to see greatness coming through. Dark Knights.
Oh, Dark
Now
Knights,
found their way
please. I
through
love it.
5 eliminations. And they've actually
5
made it way into the
eliminations.
zone.
Yeah, and they're in Severny as well. That is just lovely stuff. Like, I just love to see that one. Athlete Gaming going for this long of a split. I don't know what's happening. It seems to be working, maybe. Well, 4 eliminations after esports is out. No eliminations that they were able to get. So that is not nice at all for them, seeing that they're number 1 on the leaderboard. But hey, there's a 10 points gap. DS1 is still alive, but it doesn't look like they'll be closing that gap in this game. But nonetheless, it is the battle here in Severny as we start to see more teams try to find their way in.
If Unsullied Army don't qualify for the league stage, we're going to have some uncomfortable conversations though, because they go out again. They go out again, man. We're gonna have some seriously uncomfortable conversations, man. But
I want to
you know,
troll.
I'm speaking too soon. I'm speaking too soon. It's just 3 games in. They still have, because they played better in the groups in their group, in group A. They played much better than they're playing in this group. But it is what it is. Harsh Esports, on the other hand, again, they've still not been able to crack into that top 9. They currently have 2 eliminations and they have a little bit of the zone to work with, but I'm still expecting more. Easily for me, I see that there could be an opportunity for them to capitalize on the awareness that some of these teams are lacking so far. Hopefully it pays off for them, but Athlete Game are looking stronger by the minute.
Yep, same thing can be said about this idea of Dark Knights as well. They're currently out here in Severny, and right now, Dark Knights, I know things are quiet, but you need to understand that this is a city finish, right? You're gonna hear all of this noise, but you cannot really push, especially in this situation where right now they have to play gatekeep to everybody who is trying to leave Severny, because Athlete Gaming on that shoreline is going to be a thorn in the flesh of everyone on the outskirts. So Dark Knight right now, they just need to chill and just wait till all these teams inevitably have to move. That's 20 seconds. Rather than taking these blind shots, I will take these 20 seconds to try to strategize, get those high grounds, get the advantage, and see how well you can third party these teams. Because this Severny, you can even get on top of the roof as well. So I'd say try to see how you can do that in these next 20 seconds, because right now, this circle moving is what is going to force these teams out of where they are, not these shots that you're taking.
Yeah, but then how greedy from Athlete Game though. I mean, I love what they're doing, but of course it's going to cost them. 0 kill is only going to be the first one to go down. If they do get this high ground position, I think the rest of the guys from Athlete Game will their position will become compromised unless they can find a way towards the shoreline and won't give away their position. But all
Take him out,
but he's going to be spotted immediately, and the bullets will rain down on him. And Phoenix now looking for a way through, spins back, doesn't have no idea that he was behind him, and Phoenix gets the first drop. Can he get the second? He might troll again for the third one, but no, unfortunately, he goes out. And Athlete Game somehow will circle back, and the play zone will claim them, and Dark Knights will claim and get that chicken dinner.
I don't think anyone understands just how impressed I am with what I'm watching here. Like, Dark Knights, I am so impressed. I am so impressed. What a way to play the game. I commended their rotation going on into the game, and then how they made it into Severny, I do not know. They made it into Severny as well, and then playing it calmly. Now I was just saying, like, oh, you guys just need to play calmly and wait for this zone to start closing. The zone starts closing and they're putting it, and look at the push onto that one player from Athlete Gaming as a full squad. Nah, Dark Knights, I love this game that I just watched from you guys, and I hope to see more of this, man. This is actually good gameplay.
Very, very solid coming through from Dark Knights. They're showing what they are made of. They are showing their stuff. And now it's a matter of being consistent with it, though, because they have been very consistent today, and this just shows how far they have come. I think they averaged, what is that, 10 eliminations, doing just enough to put themselves in that conversation for the top 9 and increasing the gap between them and the rest of the lobby. Absolutely incredible stuff, and I gotta respect it. Toxic Trap putting in amazing amounts of effort, putting in a serious shift in this game, and I gotta respect it. Absolutely incredible performance.
And look at HK, bro. He got 3 eliminations with 192 damage. We best believe we know what we was doing all game long. He was definitely stealing those eliminations away. But with respect to the 64 eliminations, 64 knockouts, good things we love to see. I don't think we had 64 players. I think we had more than that, but nonetheless, it is good to see. Healing not as much here in the map of Erangel, and we only got 1 vehicle elimination. 31 assists, love to see that one, and 3 grenade eliminations. We could work more on that, but I'll take it for now.
1500 for Dark Knights. And it's very interesting that Arab T went very, very under the radar. They did have a very solid performance, but they went very under the radar because of the fact that they had a solo player, for the most part of the game, even after they had gotten like earlier engagements against the likes of, Monster and a couple of other teams, Crypto Boys as well. They got into a little bit of a back and forth with some teams, some stragglers, but it was very, very early in the game, and they had one player that just, carried them across towards the final third of the game. So you got to respect the fact that these guys know exactly how to finish a game. Skills, the MVP, exactly. This was the guy that carried Arab T into that final third. You can see 29 minutes on the clock, even after the rest of his team had been, sent back into the lobby. So you got to respect the guy. He put in an amazing performance for Arab T. And I think with this, this puts them into a very, very solid position.
And provided the remaining teams don't play again.
Exactly, provided he remains consistent with it again. But regardless, I think they've done just enough, in these past couple of games. But if you take a look, you can see the MVPs. Arab T having 2 MVPs in the top 5 shows you exactly how good of a game they just had. Skills, Atarado, Peachy finally stepping up to the plate for 4 portions, Trap for Dark, and more Aura for No More Esports.
Love to see that again. Once again, we're seeing eliminations not being too far, where it's not a case where there's just one player or one team that is just popping up the entire lobby. We're seeing more than one team do that. I mean, look at that. We've got 4 teams that were able to get themselves double-digit points. And imagine, Umoja is just 1 point away from, getting himself double digits as well. But you love to see that play coming through from Dark Knights. 20 points to their name. RT Sports with 14. Love to see that on Athlete Gaming, putting in numbers in this game, able to get themselves 11 points with 4 portions. Letting that elimination carry them. And can't lie, as much as we did say like 4 portions, this is one of those games where we would see them pop up. This is another one of those times again where it's like you let those eliminations get into your head, and then chasing that elimination too much kind of leaves you questioning your placement, because I mean at the end of the day they had to find a way to make it into Severny, and I know they were trying to take out as many teams as possible, but when it got to the time to get to Severny, they didn't have that many players again, and they did go out on that push into Severny.
Yeah, it cost them. It really cost them, on that final push. But Trap still stays in front for Dark Knights. 1700 on the clock for his damage points. Skills finally with 9. HWK with 10 as well across the board. Naruto is still in the mix with 7. SWAT still with 5. All of these players have crossed the 1000 damage threshold. Can anybody get into 2000 in this final game? Well, we're going to keep our eyes peeled to see if that's going to be the case. But the brand new top 9, very different from the one we had in game number 2. And take a look at that. Dark now in front with 37. They have surpassed Afro Esports now with 34. DS1 in third place with 30. RT in fourth place with 28. Ragnar in fifth place with 20. No more Athlete Game, Neon Rising, and Harsh Sports. Harsh Sports finally breaking into that top 9, but just 1 point ahead of Umoja Gaming and 4 portions.
It is no longer getting funny, or it is no longer funny again. And I'm now going to start pointing it out, what I was saying earlier in the game. Monsters, the teams that you had underneath you were teams that do not play around, and once again we already see them. Just that one game where the Monsters didn't do well, we can already see that the Monsters are no longer in that top 9. It took them down to 14. That's 3 more steps, or maybe that 4 steps that they've gone down. And right now, trying to fight up against those same teams that just overtook you to get into that top 9. Monsters, I really want to see how you're going to play this one. I am keeping my eyes glued to see how you're going to play this next game.
Yeah, my eyes are going to be on them as well. They've been doing very, very good, especially Olamide. He has been a joy to watch. Hopefully the rest of his team can, step up to the plate and put some work in. But we have Sano coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, so do not talk that down. We'll be right back after the break. It's the NPL season. Stay locked in. Stay locked in.
Welcome to the Pioneer edition of the 10NET Campus Game Fest 2025, and we are live at the University of Ibadan. Game on.
Hi, this is Precious. So I'm at Game Fest, and this is my first time coming to Game Fest, and I've been loving it so far. My favorite game of today is Just Dance.
My name is Osaz. I won the FC25 tournament. But it was a very tough tournament, especially the first game. I went to penalties after extra time.
Is Kamalafe winner. I participated in today's tournament in 10 and 80 and Monster tournament, and I was the winner for Free Fire.
My name is Israel. I won the F1 sim racing competition that was held here.
Hello, my name is Olale, and I won Street Fighter 6.
I participated in the Just Dance game, and I've been moving my body. And yes, Game Fest, I would like for you to come back to you. I'm bigger and better.
Mission.
Hi guys, it's me Tue, and I'm live here at the 10 and 80 Game Fest campus happening right here in Abuja. If you are seeing this, there's lots of games, music, networking, and so much fun happening. And the best part, it's all free.
for the PUBG Mobile.
Joshua, I won the tournament for Street Fighter 6. Shalom Olasisomi.
Me from our winning friend.
It's Mustafa Sani. I'm the winner for the Forza Horizon 3 Championship. I won the fire competition today. It was hosted by 10 and 80 and Monster.
We need more of this. We need 10 more, 20 more. I did this every day.
I want to say a very big thank you to 10 and 80 and Monster for hosting this competition. This has shown me that e-sport can go far in Nigeria. When I saw the opportunity to compete in this game, I knew that yes, this is it. I can definitely win it, and I came out victorious today.
Huge thank you to 10 and 80 and Monster for the wonderful tournament hosted.
I want to thank the sponsors, 10 and 80 and Monster Energy, for bringing such a wonderful event.
The match is about to start.
From PS12, now Nigerian is not able to use that. Now the War Machine, Demo, against Hyper. He needs to clear that hill. The boys in yellow. Hyper finds him, shuts him down. And 340, 10 more seconds through that door. The oil money team, are they going to make history? Very first land, very first win. 347, 348. Now the contest. The boys in three, no way through. And they are going to hold it down. So S are your champions.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the show's the Nigerian Pro League's Rain Split Season 8. 3 games in, last game of the night. It is Sandhawk. All the chaos, all the violence, all the action is already here. It's Priest, it's Crowns, it's chaos like you've never seen it before. Crowns, who is your money on in this final game?
Just because I said betting is legal, I almost wanted to go for no more esports. But I think I would put my money and put my cards on Dark Knights. Maybe not to take the win, but to at least do good damage or good numbers in this game. I think I'm going to have my money on Dark Knights here. You know what? F it. I'm going to go Dark Knights for a back-to-back winner chicken dinner. Who do you got?
Ooh, type shit. But the problem with that is the chicken dinner curse. The chicken
What
dinner
is the
curse.
chicken
When
dinner
you win a
curse?
chicken dinner, you get cooked in the next game. It's
that
a
one.
thing. It's a thing, and I believe that's what's going to happen to Dark Knights. I believe they're going to be among the first team that's going to be eliminated here. But for me, I would keep my eyes on Unsullied Army. They're relatively very strong in a map like this. I see that half thin is empty though. I'm quite surprised that her thing is empty, but the game is the game regardless.
It's that
I
thing that is
mean,
surprising you.
it's looking like a good spread. It's looking like a good spread. Teams all over the place
Hmm.
except her thing.
It's like Paradise Resort is empty as well. At least there's a team in boot camp, so I love to see that one. But indeed, our team is empty. We do have a little bit of an engagement looking to bloom in Alpha as well, where we've got the players there from No More Esports going up against New Era. Sammy also seems to be another place that is quite occupied, and I think that would be it for the drop spot or for the hot drops, which is quite interesting. That every map that was very big, there was hot drop, like crazy ass hot drops. Then the map that is now small, that's where everyone is spread out. The irony.
you
Mhm.
know, like like
Ooh.
it's very interesting for you to point that out. That's actually very true. Tighter map, but still, the teams are pretty much more spread out in this map than in all the other maps that we've seen tonight. Right now, New Gen, did he get picked up? Okay, no, Ibile did not get picked up yet.
Is he
Yeah,
burned?
he's getting picked up, right?
I
He
think
got
so.
picked up. Wow, he actually got picked up. Nah, man. Yeah, no more are gonna lose bodies here, man. If this guy's getting picked up, somebody from No More is gonna get sent back into the lobby. That is how these things play out. It's just how it
And
plays out. When you
and new
can't
gen,
capitalize, yeah, yeah. I think someone from like No More Esports is gonna lose someone.
yeah,
I
definitely.
think they're
Well,
gonna
and
lose a player. They're gonna lose a player here.
what I want to see from new gen is punishment. I see that there isn't too many meds on their end, but I want a case where it's like you show this team that next time you people get one knock and you push up, because you don't really be letting these people survive. Ibile might have to fall back a little bit. Even if you're the fragger, you might need to take a step back for this one, try to recuperate with your teammates, maybe get a couple bandages here and there. But it's looking like a little bit of a stalemate here. No More Esports still not pushing up onto this fight. I think No More Esports needs to get a little more aggro on this one. Push up a little bit closer. You guys have weapons, not too much meds, but you have the weapons, so you might as well just push up, take that fight as soon as it is hot. But I think this place is in the circle, so I feel like no, actually, it's not. It's not. They do have to fight it out.
Yeah, they have to make it quick. But again, I don't like No More Esports position. They're split. I don't like it. I like the idea of it, but it's not really practical in a position like this if you're not going to squeeze, new gen into a box. If you're not going
Hmm.
to squeeze them into a box, then there's no point. They are trying to go the tactical route, but it's going to cost
Yeah.
them, because somebody here is going to be discovered if they can't get an off angle to break them down. It's going to be a very, very difficult position for them. And I really want to see if they can make something out of it here. But it looks like crypto boys are taking hit after hit. They will be losing out there. Rio Esports, well, they will have something to say about that one, and they will be sent back. They will be sending crypto boys back into the lobby one after the other. Rage and Solana will be the last two left. And the crazy thing is, crypto esports are not even that far out. But take a look at that. No more. New Gen have finally decided to start locking horns.
Yeah. Not with the QBZ, or sorry, make that the QBU. Anyway, No More Esports already getting their advantage on that one as they get the first two eliminations off the aura. And well, they were wrong. They did not lose anyone. They still made the
Yeah.
players there from New Generation pay for that one. New Generation will go out. No points that they were able to accrue as the side there of No More Esports get themselves four more eliminations to add to the tally.
Yeah, I said if they didn't squeeze them into the box, then they were going to lose players, but they did, and that is
Ooh,
exactly what
party.
what happened there. They planned it out, but again, pro athletes saw all of that action, and again now this still doesn't mean anything. They get the knock through from this distance, but they're not gonna they're not gonna go into the camp, of course. So what is the point of that exchange? You always
Mhm.
gotta have a plan behind your plan. That's just the reality of it here. Dark Knights have already lost Toxic. They're not starting this on the best front, and I think Monsters could be able to at least defend this Ruins position for the most part. But I think Dark Knights are gonna have to wait them out and just allow them, to get dropped off one after the other as they make their exit from this position.
Eye on timer. 45 seconds before we get that first circle to close. Oh well, yeah, actually start close. Also like to see how, because right now they are not in the circle. I don't think Ruins is in that circle. And Crazy Weirdos already again on the receiving side of things as we see 4 portions taking them out in style. That elimination field is looking beautiful at the moment. Can't lie. If I was to be a crazy Weirdos player and I'm getting taken out with such elimination field, I don't think I'm angry. I'm taking it. Like, it looks pretty.
Please, crowds, don't kill me, bro. Please don't kill me. Crazy Weirdos, man. I expected so much better from them. You know, Wicked, Niger Gamer will be the last 2 left. If I was 4 portions, I was continue chasing these guys down, man. Knowing that I've put them on
Nice
the
Crazy
ropes, you
Weirdos,
know,
can't lie.
yeah, to capitalize on the fact that they're trying to get out of dodge. But it looks like Monsters will set their sights on Olamide Badu once again. Strikes fear into the hearts of Dark Knights. And I told you, Dark Knights, that chicken dinner will hurt you. It will hurt you, man. And it's starting to hurt them. They've lost 2 now. And now they will be on the receiving end. But Estarossa will be dropped.
Oh, that third party is nasty. Yeah, I was gonna say that was gonna be a nasty third party coming through. Yeah, because I'm like, they're around the ruins area. Neon Rise very keen to one of the players there from Dark Knight. And right now, Dark Knights will probably be thankful to Neon Rising because they're helping them ward off the side there of the monsters. They have already lost 1 player there, the monsters. Neon Rising just out here on the damage trap. Exposes himself a little too much. I don't know if he thought he's invincible, but down he goes as Dark Knights really not playing like the team that I saw in the last game, because right now they just seem to be all over the place.
Yeah, I told you that chicken dinner was going to hurt them, and it has. And unfortunately, Estarossa has been sent back into the lobby. But fortunately for the Monsters, I think they can still get something out of this. But Abubakar is the one that could be doing something here. But again, there's too many bases that he can't cover. 4 portions and Afro Esports are actually locking points. Olamide Badu, the last one left. He turned his back, and he allowed Abubakar to send a couple shots to him, and I think that might be the end of the road for him. And Monsters will try their best to see how far they can get. But 4 portions and Afro Esports, they have been trading blows for the most part. Ronu has pulled up to the beat. Irish Esports won a piece of the action as well. Ace will take a couple more hits onto the ground floor there, but he's exposed, and 4 portions are cut down to just 3. And Afro Esports have been forced into the building because there's too much chaos happening outside the building.
Molotovs being sent out, grenades being sent out, and that is a beautiful one coming in through from Roman to find Pride Boy down. Neil forced to go for that revive right now as Afro Esports now starting to lose number. Pace definitely got that memo. Do not hit the ball 32. Finds them on the side, but he's going to drop. And Roman, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Plan. I don't even know what the plan was. You know, this reliance on shotguns, bro. This reliance on the shotguns, bro. I don't know, man. I don't know, because it's too. I don't know. It's just too blatant. You know, the shotgun meta. It's just too blatant. There's so many scenarios where it will really, really hurt you, and I think this is just one of those times. You know, I really thought Roman had everything covered from the basis or from that position that he was in, but again, 4 portions fighting off a little bit more than they can chew there. Currently sitting in 8th place though, not the worst thing. What?
Was that the person I was supposed to be playing Gatekeep from Pro League? Well, as I said, I like the fact that this is the last game of the day. You know, Sandhawk. There's no time to be thinking about all of this, trying to play. I don't even know what to say, man. But
I don't think I've ever seen that, bro. Like, I don't think I've ever seen you. Like, I've not seen anyone from inside the camp infiltrate and exfoliate ops from inside the camp itself.
Do you know where it gets? Do you know where it gets worse? All 4 players of No More Esports were in the same position. So which means they got that knock and thirst while being inside Camp Alpha. They didn't even have to go outside to okay, let's go and test him
I thought
outside.
it was like
They knocked
I
him.
thought it was like a positional thing where they spread themselves out. But then how would you spread
Right?
yourself out when and Prothis won't see you because they have the area view, they have a bird's eye view of that entire camp. And they saw exactly the fight go down between them and New Gen couple of minutes earlier on. That is what I was thinking because when that knock, or rather when those shots, rang through, I was like, what is the point of this? You've given away your position to the guys from No More Esports. Okay, you've told them where you are. What are you gonna do with this information? Do you push forward or do you just reposition yourself? But no, they don't. They're just there. And you still lose a body from inside the camp?
No. They lost 2. That's where it gets
What?
crazy. They lost 2. So it's like they lost 2. They have no vehicle. So right now they are in the blue zone. They're just chilling in that blue zone. Probably would have to default to the hill strats, maybe. But pro athletes, I don't know. You don't have a vehicle. You've exposed your location by getting that first knock, and you were not able to get the thirst. Might as well just leave, man. There's still 53 plus players still alive. There is more people to take out. Just leave them alone. Try to get a different. And this is what I'm saying. Yes, you want to play edge, but there's a fine line between playing edge and tanking zone. And right now, you're doing the latter.
Yeah, man. It's just very it just costs too much, to play a certain way, especially in Sanhok. The pros just there's not as many pros as there are cons. When it comes to playing a certain way in Sanhok, that's just one of those things, though. But eyes on the prize, regardless. Crazy weather's on this side. Unfortunately, I don't see anything coming out of Niger Gamer. I don't think he's gonna move out for the most part. Neon Rising now sending their sign onto the guys from Spike T on 4 portions, again losing out. It will be sent back into the lobby one after the other. Yeah, I'm gonna try and say.
Ragnar are going to be the ones to hold down the fort here. They did lose one player in Alucard. I'm still surprised nobody on this team has changed their name to Dracula. But anyway, Ragnar Sports, they're going to be holding the position here in the circle just around the ban area. It's a very interesting position to hold. I always advise against it because that ban area is not very, very reliable. It's almost like Quarry, but just the junior brother there to Quarry. But nonetheless, Rio Esports, they've been quite quiet all day. Right now, they've got 4 eliminations. They have 3 players still alive. I do not know what game they are playing here, but they seem to be having fun.
Yeah, they're having so much fun. I mean, Rio Esports putting in some good numbers here. I think they have on Solid Army just up in front. It could be something special could be coming out of there. But Athlete Game in a good position here. I think they are in Camp Bravo, if I'm not mistaken. This puts them into a very, very good spot. It is phase 2 of the circle. It's going to force them out, though, if the play zone is not favorable to this position that they've chosen for themselves. But I like the idea. Now, this is much better. In terms of holding a camp, this is much better. They have information, they have intel, on the surrounding areas, and I think they can't easily be breached. But for the most part, Arab T Esports finally putting some extra numbers in there, securing their position even further.
Yep, definitely. And this is not one of the best zones here in the map here of Sandhawk, as we do see it sent up quite nicely. And now it's centered up.
Ooh. Yeah, looks like we're having
looks like we're having
technical difficulties. Yeah, looks like we're having some technical difficulties, man.
And it's one of these cases where you're just like, well, I know too much like this, but it does happen. I've been information getting to me is that there's a little too much chaos about to ensue on the map there of Sandhawk. And by the way, we're already looking at that next zone shift. It did center up quite nicely, and it's one of those zone shifts that I believe it's favoring those teams, given that they love to play edge. It just shows them that everybody was just on that edge of the circle, and holding that edge position. And that's one thing that these teams have been showing to like. So I'm hoping that now that the zone has favored that style of gameplay, they are able to clear the edge and do their work. But man, if you're on the edge right now, you're going to be suffering from third party because this is Sandhawk.
Yeah, exactly. But it's more you just have to zero your mind and say, okay, we're gonna take engagements, we're gonna pack things in. But good plays coming through from Ragnar. You can see them spread out, three different angles, three different points of contact, three different points of entry. Frontis is caught out by Harsh Esports, and that is the danger here. Crowns just mentioned the third parties every single where you go. You think is MTN, but the way the bullets are flying there, they have every single angle. Another grenade tossed over to the top. That's a beautiful one. Just KG will hurt them. And now no more esports will have to think twice here. They're forced out into the open. And I believe that reset can come through on Front's position. And Just KG has to be very careful, though. He might be getting dropped off. A new player, unfortunately, can't seem to get his teammates back in. And that will be the end of the road for him. But Ragnar will not take this one lying down. I believe he will be able to get finished. No more betting. The odds will not be in his favor. Ronu will get that finish.
And look at that. It's not the player that, it's not the team that knocked him that got the first. I don't know what. It's not the team that knocked him that got the Thursday, and that just goes to show just how much third-party action is happening here. Ragnar will be down to just the one player there in just KG to hold down the fort, and you can already tell that Payne has an idea as to what is going on there. He doesn't have any smokes in hand, so he's gonna have to hold this rock for a little bit more. And I'm really hoping he just stays put because you're the last player left. There's still 15 teams alive, 36 players. You have there's not, and you're in the zone as well, so there really is no pressure on you to get into that next circle. Just stay on that rock and just try to camp it out. See if you can grab your team a couple more placement points.
Well, it's all about the points. How many points can you get, though? Because as it stands, we are heading into zone number 4. We've still got 15 teams in the cut. Realistically, only 4 teams have been eliminated from the lobby. And now the gap into the top 9 is still not as steep as one would think. Afro Esports still in front, 34 points. Claire with a couple of eliminations that they have added from this game. Arab T still hot on their tail, though, not allowing them to run too far away. And the pressure is going to go into that final game, into that final third of tomorrow's matches to see who will make it into that top 9. Playzone has squeezed a little bit closer, and it looks like it is going to be in that beautiful spot of Ban, and no more esports and Ragnar are going to be locking horns all the way towards that western side. Now the rest of these teams have been forced out. Crowns, do you think it's now a full send thing, or still hang by the edge and see if you can pick out some eliminations?
The ban is a very annoying place to be. That is low ground. If these teams know that area very well, everybody will try to get towards that western side. So that is where you try to full send it to the west. Because right now, if you're going anywhere else, you find yourself on low ground, and those teams that are on the high ground are going to start raining those bullets down.
Yeah, that's a major play. That's a major play. Owing to the fact that some teams at this point are not still aware of what the terrain is like in that particular area of where the zone is right now, where they will be forced, to play out of. But right now, Neon Rising have done a remarkable job of putting in some crazy numbers so far. 11 eliminations. Now, this is the Neon Rising I know, and I believe with this performance, they could easily get into the top 3. But Arab T also have some numbers in there. DS1 as well. A chicken dinner right now could be a chicken dinner right now for Neon Rising could be the biggest boost they would ever get today, and that's really what I'm looking forward to seeing. But Unsullied Army down to 1, Ragnar also down to 1. It is a battle of the solos. Machete, unfortunately, will be the last solo swept away, and DS1 will be sent back into the lobby. And again, Crowns, DS1 is easy down, won a chicken dinner today, but take a look at that. Consistency is the key, and now there's a chance that they will finish just outside of the top 4.
Can't lie, with the way they're going, they've got just the 30 points plus the 1 point they get from this game, 31. It's looking like even the top 9, depending on how games go tomorrow, might not even be too sure for them. Once again, I'm really looking forward to seeing some of those teams that are on the middle to bottom part of the leaderboard step up the game coming into tomorrow's games. Right now, Sandhawk has been very nice and it's not being as chaotic yet. We still have 25 players, 12 teams still alive, a lot of solos as well. So like there'll be a lot of thorns in the flesh as the circle continues to close. Yeah, come on down.
Ooh, Wizard gets knocked away by 911. Somebody call an ambulance. Somebody call the police right now because Hershey Sports is active. 5 eliminations to the good. They've finally broken into the 20s. But could it be too late? I'm not sure because they will be swept back into the lobby as a means to go on. Afro Esports and Athlete Gaming, that northwestern side. This could be a battle of the ages, though. A knock is good. No Panic will swallow a grenade, and Afro Esports are trying to keep them at bay. Ace, another grenade to follow suit. Surely Zero Kill and Fender will have to make a run for it, and that grenade again from SWAT. Busting down the doors, and surely now this could be the opening that they've been looking for. Another grenade to shut it down once more. Athlete Game getting absolutely demolished by Afro Esports in every single capacity. They couldn't make their way through. Neon Rising getting stepped on as well by Umoja Gaming.
And this is what I was saying, low grounds everywhere. If you're trying to get in there, anything that is on high ground is going to end up taking you out. And you can see Afro Esports riding on that high ground on the edge, trying to see if they can get as many eliminations and damage as possible. 8 eliminations that they've been able to accrue so far. There's still 10 teams in the lobby. And once again, almost every other person in this lobby is a solo, apart from the side there of RFT Esports.
There could be something here. Something could be coming out here. Moja Gaming going out the same time with Rio Esports. And we are down to 8 teams. 12 players left. And things are brewing up here. No more. Still looking very, very comfortable here. But they're just down to 1. It's no more pain. And if he doesn't have a sight line there, he's been spotted. And he tries to spray. He's giving away his position. Surely now they know that he's there. And a grenade to turn this around. They're trying to bait and switch him, trying to force him out into the open. Brad Boy is charging that grenade just over to the top. It doesn't connect, but they know he's there. They know he's That was perfectly executed. Athlete Game go out as well, but that was perfectly executed by Afro Esports.
10 eliminations that they've also been able to get. RFT Esports still up with 9 eliminations. All 4 players still alive. Right now, they are just playing Dr. Goose. Where are the gooses that are here? Where are the geese, really, that are here? That's what they're doing. Crypto going out with 0 eliminations. They will get some placement points to go alongside it. But just like that, you blink, you miss it. We are down to just the final 3 teams in RFT Esports, Afro Esports, and Ragnar with the 1 solo.
Esports packing it in. So Reckless with the sprays all the way across. Actually connects. SWAT gets knocked away. Arab T, they could find a way through here. They could find a way inside of this position. And Afro Esports do not have the play zone. They will have to advance forward a couple of meters in. If they do have a vehicle, now would be the best time to utilize it. If they can find a way through without getting spotted into the zone. But Arab T, take a look at the position that they have. And let's not forget Ragnar, just KG, is just a chill guy. He's just chilling behind. And he could be a big threat. And that will be the end of the road. Afro Esports will go back into the lobby. They will not get another chicken dinner. Arab T turning up the heat in a 4v1. Surely now they have done it. Surely Arab T will not be cutting anybody's ticket tonight.
Definitely will not be there. This definitely skyrockets them, if not even to the top of the leaderboard, given how well they've played the last couple games as well. They have just the 1 player to take care of with Ragnar Esports, and you can just see them just running around. One thing I'm liking about the way they're running around is that they're doing it as a team, and they're starting to narrow down where this last player could be. But then they create a good step. Molotov in the building, not too much places for the stage to go. Exposes his body a little bit, but cannot go down just yet. But it's only a matter of time. They start farming grenades. Let's farm grenades. It's the molly. It's a question of who wants to take him out, and just KG holding on the fort here, trying to see if he can just play around. And yep, we can only delay the inevitable as RFT Esports find themselves going home with the last chicken dinner of the day, doing it in style. I believe that was what, 12, 13 eliminations. That was a lot of eliminations going on to their hands, and you can tell that the map of Sandhawk, they love that map.
Yes, they absolutely do. And the performance is one for the history books. They have turned things up and they have turned it around. RFT with a beautiful performance. I don't know how far that will take them, but I know that it takes them farther away from the opposition for the most part. So let's take a look at that.
Wow.
That is 12. That is 12 eliminations, I think. And that is a beautifully done job from RFT Esports. And I think Atarodo, this performance brings him into that MVP conversation for today's matches. Big game, very, very big game from RFT. And now they don't deny, they don't deny the fact that yes, they are one of the teams to look out for. They show it time and time again. 70 eliminations and 61 knocks, 6,500 in heals, 2 grenade eliminations, 44 assists, and 5 vehicle eliminations, Grant.
I'm not even surprised as to those assist numbers, given that we saw a lot of third-party action coming in through from that game. So you will definitely be seeing those assist numbers. Afro Esports, another team that did put in the work. They got themselves 10 eliminations as compared to the 12 gotten through from RFT Esports. And you can just see that RFT Esports, they were really doing those third parties. From the beginning of the game till the end, you can just see them going for those third parties. But Afro Esports putting in numbers, 9 knocks, 10 eliminations that they were able to get. 15 points is what they're going to be able to get away within this game. But man, RFT Esports getting that winner chicken dinner, you love to see that one. And SWAT X from Afro Esports being the MVP of the game, 6 eliminations that he was able to get, 105 in healing, you love to see that one. 5 knocks, 3 assists, 972 damage, you love to see that one coming in through from SWAT.
Yeah, absolutely incredible performance. Afro Esports have been the #1 team today, regardless, across the board. They have been very, very consistent, and it has shown time and time again. But let's not forget, Neon Rising had that guy turning up the heat. Baby finally turned up as well in the sign-up game. Skunky for Rio Esports finally putting in that work for Rio Esports, putting them just closer into that top 9. And let's not forget, Reckless was also putting the opposition in danger. But what does this mean at the end of everything? What does this mean for the leaderboard? How well have these teams performed? 22 points for RFT, Afro Esports with 15, Neon Rising with 14, No More Esports with 9, Ragnar with 8, and Harsh Esports with 5 as well with Rio Esports. 4 portions, Umoja Gaming, Crypto, and Crazy Weirdos all putting in 4 points to the good. Unsolid Army, Athlete Game with 3 apiece, DS1 and Monsters with 1 apiece, New Gen, Dark Knights, Spike T, and Prothletes, no points on the board.
I don't know what Dark Knights were on in this game, but please, let's not do that tomorrow, okay? I would go with Priest here saying, it was a chicken dinner curse. You win that game and then you go on to the next game. Instead of you to carry the momentum onto the next game, in this case, you decided to let it go and start playing as, you won Erangel by playing as a team, and then you came into Sanok and played not as a team, and that affected. But overall, players for today definitely goes to speaks for itself, really. I'm looking specifically at, in fact, pretty much all of them, maybe except Baby, because this is the first time I'm really noticing that he's in here. But Swadex actually played so well in this final game. Skills has been on fire the entirety of the day. Trap is also one player there from Dark Knights that has been doing the work, and that guy, he's that guy. He's done it from that Miramar game. You could see that he was smoking hot on fire. And Neon Rising coming through with Baby as well. 11 eliminations that he's been able to get so far. You love to see that one. I mean, look at the Q to KD ratio as well that these players are able to get. I mean, skills with 3, you love to see that one.
Big game regardless. Skills. I really thought I was going to see Atarodo in here, but I think he hasn't just got the damage numbers to back it up. But RFT finishing on top of the day. Now that is one for the books. 4 different chicken dinners across the board, and those 4 teams are on top of the leaderboard. RFT, Afro Esports, Dark Knights, DS1 all sitting comfortably in the top 4. Well, I say that rhetorically, but Neon Rising, Ragnar, No More, Hershey Sports, and Athlete Game. Now, what makes this very interesting? Athlete Game, Hershey Sports, Umoja Gaming, 4 Portions, Crypto, Esports, and Monsters. These teams are not far away from each other at all, and let's not forget it is the top 9. The goal is the top 9. The gap between 9th and 10th place is 1 point. That is where it all lies. Athlete Game cannot afford to slip up. Remember, you go into tomorrow's game in front of Umoja Gaming, 4 Portions, Crypto, and Monster. Even on Solid Army, you go into tomorrow ahead of these teams. All you have to do is stay ahead. That is all you have to do. Stay ahead. That has to be the strategy going into tomorrow's game. Hershey Sports as well, they are not safe. No More as well, they are not safe. They need to do better. They need to do way better than they have done today. 4 Portions still sitting outside is not something I expected to see, today. 4 Portions sitting where they are. Hershey Sports, I expect so much better from them, but remember, top 9 is the goal, and the teams that are sitting around that bubble, 1 point, 2 point, 3 points, is nasty work,
I'm telling you. I mean, for the sheer fact that you in the top 9 or you that are around the bubble, I'm talking about Hershey Sports and Athlete Gaming, the fact that those teams that are holding it off at the bubble, just those 2 teams, I'm telling this to you, just the fact that you have 4 Portions not in there, it becomes very crazy, because 4 Portion, we saw what they could do in that second angle of the day, where we saw them really, really pop off with respect to eliminations. And if you look at that, most of 4 Portion's points is coming from eliminations. They do not have too much of placements, which means if by tomorrow they come in to balance their eliminations with placements, it's gonna be a task. I put that task for Monster. How are you gonna hold and prevent 4 Portions from overtaking you on the leaderboard? And now that task falls on to Hershey Sports and Athlete Gaming. I'll see what you guys have to do tomorrow.
Yes, sir. But that with that, we mark the end of tonight's matches. Big shout out to 1080 Monster and my main man here, Crowns, for surprising and hopping on to join me here, bringing the vibes as always. Big shout out to every single one, and production, Wisery Sports and Turner Link cooking in the background. Big shout out to them as well. So we're going to see you guys tomorrow for the last day of the playoffs and see who is going to graduate to play in the league for that prize pool money, and finally get an opportunity to get in. We're gonna have some uncomfortable conversations. Some teams, if they don't qualify tomorrow, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard because some people now, they'll be relying on something, that stuff, that fans favorite stuff. Some people are gonna they will skip the whole race split and wait for you in fans favorites. But I won't say no names. But that's what they're waiting for. They just won't skip on. They go qualify for grand final. I will be there. I will be there. And I hope you'll be there as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the broadcast. We'll see you guys same time tomorrow. So stay locked in. Let's see who's going to qualify to the league stages. Until then, it's good night from me and it's good night from Crowns. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.